our warthog hits the sand in a first off-road test. And that'd be something Bubba and Earl, myself, and all them would like to be riding in there, just, getting crazy out there with it there, right? Let's see. Well, got a Bubba story for you. He flew to Atlanta yesterday morning, Steve. He said this hot-looking flight attendant asked him how he liked his coffee. Trying to be cute, he said, I like my coffee just like I like my women. To which she replied, the coffee is free here. You don't have to pay for it, though.
That's not bad, Knuckle Buster. There you go. That's all for round one. Is that okay? I like it. The coffee is free. What's going on there, Big Moose? Hey there.
Oh, Lord, how you follow that? What's going on? Playing radio?
Trying to. Some facsimile thereof.
I heard that. Yeah, they were talking about the Democrats. What was the terminology they used? They were scrambling for their caucus. I got a feeling they're going to caucus all, folks, so just stay tuned. We get lucky, maybe they'll spit on the end of it first. But I tell you what they got in mind is not going to work out too good. They're talking about this debt ceiling. If they raise that debt ceiling, we're in trouble. They act like, oh, if we don't do it, we're in trouble. Well, I tell you what, we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. At this point, we've already spent more money than we can even print. So, yep, going to hell in a handbasket, buddy. I don't know what it's gonna. I don't know what the kids are gonna do. Ain't gonna be a lot of them, you look at these. They're military personnel losing their pensions and everything else for not wanting to take that shot.
Yep.
Hospitals are being understaffed. Got whole groups of people leaving these places because they're trying to force them to take it. When are people going to wake up and realize, man, this is a dictatorship? I mean, they cannot demand that you do something in the United States of America. And they're doing it. People letting them get by with it, And there are just as many people dying with that shot as there are without that shot. So, the shot is absolutely ineffectual. It's just a tool. And I don't know why some people can't wake up and see that. They're just using this to manipulate the whole world. And it's a fear-mongering tactic. And they're trading you your freedom for this, you've got no choice. You take this shot or you don't eat, you don't work, you don't this, you don't that. Who the hell are they? Last time I was, if my memory serves me correctly, last time we had somebody with that attitude in this country, we run them back to England, but they don't teach history no more. So, I don't know. It's not going to be good. And now that the whole electoral process is out the window, mail-in votes only in California, it'll be mail-in votes only everywhere for them. And then, you know what? It's just going to be whatever they want. So, the time for these phone calls and protests and raising hell is long gone. Missed the opportunity on that, See, that's the problem. Everybody, sit idly by when it doesn't directly affect them. Well, by the time it does directly affect them, it's so far gone that there ain't no saving it, And that's where we're at. So, but anyway, that's all my baloney for tonight. I'm going to sit back, copy the mail, and keep it quick, spotted, and solid. And thank you for taking my call.
Thank you much. All right. Cover all the bases there. It's about 18 past the hour. So you ever drop a payment in the mailbox? Gotta wonder if it got there on time. Haven't we all? Yeah, you ever wonder why it seems to take the Postal Service so long to deliver a letter or a package? Well, sending mail across your state or even the country Feels like kind of a game of chance. Will my mail get there this week or will it be next week? During the first quarter of this year, about 20% of first-class mail across the U.S. was delivered late, they tell us. And now the good old-fashioned snail mail, as we call it, is about to get even slower for some of the 160 million residents and businesses that rely on the Postal Service starting October 1, which, by the way, is 2 days away. The U.S. Postal Service will implement new service standards for its first-class mail and packages, lengthening delivery time for about 30% of its volume. That means some letters, parcels, magazine subscriptions that travel longer distances could take up to 5 days to arrive instead of 2 or 3. Changes, part of the Postmaster General's 10-year Delivering for America plan to overhaul the agency and try to tackle their massive debt. No doubt it has generated some controversy, which also reduce post office hours, raise postage prices for customers, and kick in even more postage hikes during the holiday season, just around the corner here. Now, the U.S. Postal Service, which a portion of which are packages from online retailers like Amazon, but there's been a massive decline in the volume in first-class mail, like letters, cards, and bills, as we rely more and more making electronic payments and electronic communication. And with the rise of demand in e-commerce, they're struggling to match the quick delivery of their competitors like UPS and FedEx and even Amazon itself that has their own delivery network. What does the October 1st changes mean for me and you? Well, apparently it will mean costlier or erratic mail delivery could lead to delays in wedding invitations, birthday cards, unemployment checks, mail-in ballots, the child tax credit payments. You try to break it all up, but just be aware. So the changes take place starting this Friday. And again, that letter that you are watching the mailbox for may be a couple of days, even further down the line than it used to be. And with that, we'll get a quick 2-minute timeout. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Are you having trouble sleeping? Are you tired all the time? Growing older is a fact of life. Our skin starts to wrinkle, muscles get weaker, and our energy levels plummet. If there was a product that may help you slow down these symptoms of aging, would you be interested? I want you to go to getonthegel.com. That is getonthegel.com. Watch this 4-minute video that explains more about this amazing product. Or call us at Youth Fountain HGH today at 513-472-0699 for more information.
Diesel Army is on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Burning the midnight oil with the best diesel coverage. All the tech, all the torque. Diesel Army, where there's smoke, there's fire. For the latest news and event coverage, as well as feature and tech articles, sign up for the newsletter and don't miss a thing. Visit dieselarmy.com from the Power Auto Media family of digital magazines. Again, it's dieselarmy.com.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud, always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
Do you have a Dodge pickup and hate your automatic transmission? Of course you do. Levon Miller at Firepunk Diesel here, and we specialize in heavy-duty and performance transmissions for your 3/4 or 1-ton Cummins-powered truck. So if you're interested in turning your stock slush box into a towing monster, Call us today at 614-733-3744 or visit us online at shop.firepunk.com.
And now, back to the Steve Summers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
All right, thank you so much. Right back to the calls we go on a Wednesday hump day. And hello, Roadmaster. How you been?
Well, I'm listening to you tonight on the best headphones I've ever owned in my life. I got me a Stellar with a Duo, the whole full pop, and it is wonderful.
Got the Pluto Duo headset.
Yes, and I got it while I was off. I've been off for 2 months. I had the engine worked on. It started regenerating too much and filled that filter full of something we don't know, full of fuel, I think. But they finally decided and had to get that fixed. And then they said it needed a new set of injectors in it. And I said, well, I use Hot Shot Secret fuel cleaner. I don't think so. Oh yeah, it's got to have injectors in it. It's got to have. That's what it says and everything. So I spent $6,000 to find out that it wasn't injectors. Yeah, something happened to my computer that turned the fuel wide open on it, and it filled that filters down there full of fuel. So anyway, it cost me $13,000 to get it all fixed. But anyway, I'm back in business, which I was off for about a month while we was doing all that. And then at the time I went back to work, my old lady got real sick, and was lucky that she's still here. She went into a coma for 2.5 days, and she suffered a TIA, which in redneck terms, that means a mini stroke.
Yep.
And she had a serious nervous breakdown, just absolutely, she just shut down. So 2.5 days, she didn't even know she's alive. But a lot of prayers, and she come back around, and she's about 85% right now, and they say she may never be back like she was, but I'm just glad to have her back at 85%.
Wow.
Then I started to go back to work last week and got to feel a little bad, and I thought, oh, no, not me. So I run to the doctor right quick. They give me a COVID test and said, no, you've got an upper respiratory infection and a GI virus. So Friday I went back to work. So now I'm back beating the blacktop again.
Okay.
I've got a cousin, the nurse in Cincinnati, and she told me this a month ago, that in August they told her that every hospital and nursing home around the Cincinnati, North Kentucky area got together that if you do not have the shot, you have until September the 1st to get it, because if you don't, you will be terminated October 1st. And she said, well, I've got a hole in my heart, and I've got a medical exemption from the hospital I worked in, which is this one, that says I don't have to take it. And they said, no, ma'am, you do not have to take it, but you don't have to work here either. So in about 3 days, she'll be out of a job.
Really?
She's been there 28 years.
So even with the exemption, they're not going to let her work there.
You don't have to take it, but she don't have to. She said, they told her, said, if you decide to take it before October 1st, then there's going to be a 14-day waiting period that you'll be out of a job until that time comes, then you could go back to work. We will let you go back to work after that period. She said, I'm not taking it if it costs me my job. They said, well, it will, and I mean, it's going to. But the one hand there, he was talking about, pull up in front of the place if they don't go into freight because you didn't take the shot, take it back. I haul a lot of major warehouses, U.S. Foods, Walmart, Family Dollar, General Dollar, Kroger's, basically, a bunch of warehouses. I haul a lot of water, bottled water. And the first one of those big companies that says you don't come on our property to load unless you have a vaccination card, they all will follow suit within a month. They'll all join the bandwagon. And basically, it's coming to where you will, if you drive a truck and haul freight from state to state, you will have the shot or you won't work. And I've been one that's held out. I ain't took the shot yet. But just like they asked you a minute ago, if you were still with them other clowns that you worked for, was just a dedicated for so many years, if they said, look, either take it or you're fired, what would you do?
Mm-hmm.
You give the answer that most people would have done.
To save my job, to save my livelihood. Yeah, because what else? What are you going to do? You find yourself out on the street, right?
Yeah, can you see me and you standing there, welcome to Walmart, man, welcome to Walmart.
Yeah.
You see how long that lasts with me? Yeah, okay. I've done this job almost 38 years. I've got another, 5 years, I guess, or something. I don't know. But anyway, I won't work. But I passed my health. I have passed my physical the other day. That place in my lung, evidently, it's not caused any more trouble. It's still there. But it's. I hadn't heard no bad news, so no news is good news. So, I figure maybe I can work another 5 years, something like that. But, if they tell me I have to take it to keep my job, I'll take it. Go on. But I will tell you this: with no way to get out of the hospital, we went straight to the lawyer, which happens to be our county attorney where I live, and we had our wheels made. And I said, we're not going to take that shot until he gets the wheels printed up. And we sign them and get them registered at the courthouse. Then we'll go get that shot. Because I said, who knows that if you might 2-3 days later, if he's dead. I said, we are going to get that done. Then we'll go get the shots, I guess. I guess everybody says that's the right thing to do regardless of who you're for. So, I don't know. I don't know what to do. That's about all I guess I can do, though.
We're all being forced to make some pretty damn difficult decisions right about now. Well, Roadmaster, it's good to hear from you. I'm glad you're doing better. I'm glad the wife's doing better, and we've been through some tough times, haven't we all? We thought 2020 was a crappy year, and I don't know, for some of us, 2021 just keeps on keeping on.
Well, the freight rates are fantastic. I can tell you that. If I would have told you 6 months ago, 3 months ago, I'm going to Florida, and I'm loading a load out of Florida at $4 a mile down and $4 a mile back. If I'd have told myself that 6 months ago, I'd have said I was a liar talking to myself. But I'm doing it. So what can I say?
Well, that's good. All right. Well, thank you much. Roadmaster, got to get to our bottom of the hour news break. That ain't half bad, is it? Not too shabby. That sounds like Big Moose's kind of freight rates. It is 844-844-3388. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
We're obviously at a very sensitive time.
White House spokeswoman Jen Psaki saying President Biden's previously scheduled Chicago trip on Wednesday has now been canceled or at least postponed. The president instead will stay back in Washington to lead talks over his legislative agenda, which has reached a critical point.
In these discussions, a pivotal time in these discussions.
Democrats have been negotiating the massive reconciliation bill. At the same time, they're hoping to pass a bipartisan infrastructure package before this week is over. A Democratic senator adamantly opposed to Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell getting another term. Democrat Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts blasting Powell on Tuesday, saying she has grave concern over his record. Powell's term as Fed chief expires early next year. And this is USA Radio News.
Do you have a home that you don't want anymore? We can buy it from you within 24 hours. Any home, size, or condition. For over 20 years, we've been buying homes for cash and helping homeowners sell their homes immediately with no listings or strangers walking through your home. Are you moving? Did you lose your job? going through a divorce. Whatever the reason, if you're in a bind and you know that you need to sell your house fast, call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. We'll make you a serious cash offer to buy your home in 24 hours and let you walk away from it. No listing, no waiting. Sell any home, any size, any condition, now. Call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. Make this free call now.
800-478-6084. 800-478-6084. 800-478-6084. That's 800-478-6084.
Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios, the Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
You work hard. You deserve a seat that works just as hard as you do. The Bostrom T-Series seat has provided drivers with comfort for millions of miles over the past 3 decades. Each seat is built right here in the USA and has 4-position front cushion tilt and higher low-profile air suspension with Isolator. It's also equipped with many standard and optional comfort features, such as high and mid backrests, 9.4-inch 4-aft slide adjustment, adjustable armrests, and manual or dual air lumbar support systems to keep you comfortable throughout your ride. Build your T-Series seat today at BostromSeating.com and ensure your ultimate comfort for wherever the road takes you. Bostrom Seating, the ultimate comfort for the open road.
Whether you're a diesel pickup performance enthusiast or just looking for a small upgrade, when selecting common rail fuel system components, look no further than Exergy Performance. At Exergy, you'll find injectors, pumps, and more, engineered like no others on the market using state-of-the-art equipment run by people that have been in the business for decades. So if you're in the market for common rail components at any power level, contact Exergy Performance or one of the many dealers listed on our website at exergyperformance.com.
The Hot Shot Secret Facebook page gets a lot of robust Q&A about diesel problems and their solutions. We listen to our customers. Here are their words straight from their mouths about Hot Shot Secret Everyday Diesel Treatment. Our fans call it EDT.
I'm John Sharp, a.k.a. Jay Sharp from Newburgh, Pennsylvania. Using EDT, my local fuel mileage went to average of 22 to 23, and my highway MPG went to 26 to 28.
Hi, I'm Danny. I'm from Arizona. I drive a 02 Ford Excursion. I use EDT at every fill-up, and my mileage went from 12.5 miles to gallon to 14 miles per gallon. I highly recommend it.
Everyday Diesel Treatment delivers a 6-in-1 premium fuel treatment for every fill-up, every time.
Everyday Diesel Treatment is available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Are you having trouble sleeping? Are you tired all the time? Growing older is a fact of life. Our skin starts to wrinkle, muscles get weaker, and our energy levels plummet. If there was a product that may help you slow down these symptoms of aging, would you be interested? I want you to go to getonthegel.com. That is getonthegel.com. Watch this 4-minute video that explains more about this amazing product. Or call us at Youth Fountain HGH today at 513-472-0699 for more information.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor, here with Tax Help MD. As many of you know from Steve Summers' show, I've been helping professional drivers solve their tax problems. I can help you too. If you've been struggling with back tax debt, call me now at 888-557-4020. Let's face it, these problems aren't going away all on their own. You need professional help so you can sleep better at night knowing you're in good hands. It's like I always say, keep your eyes on the road, I'll keep my eyes on the IRS. 888-557-4020.
For anything diesel, take it to Shy Diesel. They provide a wide variety of services and diagnostics to determine what the problem is with the latest technology. From simple oil changes and preventative maintenance to fuel system diagnostics and repairs, engine rebuilds and cylinder head repairs, and rebuilds with our in-house machine shop. They also have on-site DPF cleaning for exhaust issues and DOT inspections. If your diesel is asking for some attention, Shy Diesel has the specialist you need for anything diesel. Located in Terre Haute, Lafayette, Indiana, and Effingham, Illinois, Shy Diesel has you covered.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Summers. Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
Oh, hey there, Speedy. I guess that is a good question. It's been a while since I got an email from Speedy. He said, hey, Steve, a real simple question to ask yourself. If this $3.5 trillion boondoggle is actually paid for like Biden claims, then why do the Democrats have to raise the debt ceiling? Well, that's the same question Senator Braun was asking. That's Senator Mike Braun of Indiana. I was on Spicer and Company this past day. Just like you, he was expressing skepticism about Biden's proposed corporate and individual tax increases. He went back to the tweet from Biden over the weekend, Saturday. He says, quote, my Build Back Better agenda costs $0. To which Braun says, well, then why raise taxes? First of all, when you're spending money, those end up being firm targets. You never spend less, and it actually grows over time. When it comes to raising revenues, they've thrown out 10 or 11 ideas about where, and I do believe these will all coalesce around raising the individual tax rate from 37 back to 39.6%. They'll get the corporate tax hike to 25, 6, 8, up from 21%. They'll probably do something with the capital gains tax. And they've got 7 or 8 other items out there that are all just pixie dust. It's all for show. Because they know even their own members wouldn't be for that. Now, he went on to say he compared the proposed spending this year to the government spending back in 2008, 2009. It seems like a bargain where we only spent like $800 or $900 billion. We're in a totally new dimension here. This is government gone wild. It's going to unleash not only the debt consequences, where rates are going to go up sooner or later. Inflation's already here. And now you're hearing Jerome Powell looking at tightening, the interest rate picture. So many things can come together to take what was the best economy we had pre-COVID, and it looks like we are literally doing everything possible in the book to ruin it. And it was working back then. All right, back to the calls here. Hello, baby bear. How you been?
I'm doing good. How are you? I'm getting over double pneumonia, but I didn't have COVID.
Really?
But, yeah, I called to talk about the COVID thing a little bit. I'm always learning stuff. I went to my doctor a week ago. Well, yeah, it's been 2 weeks ago, and asked him about the shot, just ask. And he spent 10 minutes chewing me out about how irresponsible I was and we are for not getting the shot. And at the same time, I'm like, he's like, well, after that, what are you here for? And I said, well, I can't breathe, So a week later, fast forward, I went to urgent care and they did a chest x-ray and said, you got pneumonia, both lungs. So anyways, I had a COVID test for fun, but I just wanted to, my grandson's stepmom works at a pediatrician office. She got the Moderna vaccine, it's been 2 weeks now, 6 months prior, exactly 6 months. They check their antibodies quite regularly because they work in a doctor's office. And 2 weeks ago, hers are non-existent. The vaccine has totally wore off. She has none. But Moderna hasn't okayed the booster yet. They're waiting for it. So, and then I've got friends. He's a fireman, and she stays at home. they both did have COVID last, I think it was like last Thanksgiving. They were out for their 14 days. They don't have any, they did have antibodies, but they got them checked again because he's a firefighter and he's got connections and blah, 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 and they don't have any antibodies. But I found that interesting that just like the regular flu shot, the COVID shot, you know, the flu shot, the reason they tell you to take it in the fall is so they get you through the worst part of flu season, which the worst part, everybody gets the flu. It seems like when the kids come home for Christmas break for those 2 weeks, you know, and then the flu, you know, that's when flu starts. But I just thought that was pretty interesting that, you know, that even if you've had COVID, you know, but it's like, I point to the doctor, I'm like, well, you still can get the other variant. And he was like, I'm not going to argue with you about science. You know, and I was like, you know, a few months ago you said you weren't going to get it. But, and so, and my grandson's stepmom, she's like, I'm so scared to get the booster because my first shot of Moderna was fine. Second shot, I was sick of the dog. I mean, she was down for 3 days, thought she was dying, which I have a friend who's a retired orthopedic surgeon. He said he got Moderna. He said he said around these counties you'll find most of the doctors and nurses. We're all getting Moderna. That's just what's being offered up here to us and all of my doctor friends and all that. But and from what he said the Moderna seems to have the longest acting. But I told him, I said, I'm still on the fence. I said, we got a driver that's been exposed so many times. He smokes 3 packs of cigarettes a day. And I'm like, dang, maybe it's nicotine's the key. And, you know, he just laughed. And I'm like,
right.
You've been around so many family members that have had COVID, and you live with them, and you've not gotten it. So, and I agree with Q-Ball. Why can't there be some of us who just have natural immunity, even though we may not test, you know, and show that we have the antibodies? I mean, would that make too much sense? You know, I mean, I would love to hear what Always Moving, you know, I mean, because I'm not a science brain whatsoever, but I'd love to hear her take on it.
I'm not sure if she's listening in this morning or not, but maybe you're putting out the bat signal for Always Moving.
Well, I got something to share with you. This is pretty funny. I live in Ackworth, Georgia, which you're familiar with, Cartersville, and I live in Cherokee County. Well, Cherokee County, my friend that works at the fire department, the hospital up there that doesn't take COVID patients, it's a big hospital, tried to tell the Cherokee County government that their firemen and policemen, if they were escorting patients, or he's an EMT/fireman, so he brings patients there, that they had to be vaccinated to bring patients there. So Cherokee County government, the hospital tried to strong-arm the government in Cherokee County, and Cherokee County government blasted them back and said, fine, we'll take our patients out of county. We'll take them somewhere else.
Wow.
And, you know, our sheriff's deputies, when they bring somebody up for blood work on a DUI that refuses an intox, then we'll take them out of county. So the hospital came back, I guess it wasn't very many days later, and said, fine, we just want to, we are going to require y'all to wear an N95 mask, to which the government, Cherokee County government leader said, yeah, that's fine. But I mean, to me, it's like, all you people, I really shouldn't judge, but it's almost like, you people want to live socialist? That's what's happening. I mean, it's crazy, but I'm about to deliver, so I will let you go, and you have a great morning, and I'll be listening.
Thank you for checking in. Always good to hear from you, Baby Bear. Be safe out there. Yeah, Fred was listening to Baby Bear's comments, and yeah, I have not seen that report. He said, according to a report I read, Smokers have a bit of an advantage against the virus because of the layer of tar on the lungs. That sounds kind of strange, but all right. Who knows? Our number, 844-844-3388. Philip coming up next after a 2-minute timeout. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
You're listening to the Overnight Drive with Steve Summers.
Do you have a Dodge pickup and hate your automatic transmission? Of course you do. Levon Miller at Firepunk Diesel here, and we specialize in heavy-duty and performance transmissions for your 3/4 or 1-ton Cummins-powered truck. So if you're interested in turning your stock slush box into a towing monster, call us today at 614-733-3744 or visit us online at shop.firepunk.com.
At Turbo 3000, our founder Andy Matouche firmly believed you should challenge yourself.
Put the most money back in your pocket, where it belongs. Four Wheeler magazine took our challenge, and they wrote it did exactly what we said it would do.
As fuel prices keep going up, get your Turbo 3000 today. Call us at 888-311-9993. Always free shipping in the USA, and for a limited time, save $45 off total purchase using coupon code STEVESAVES at turbo3000.com.
Attention all truckers, Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. I want to talk to you about those dreaded tax problems. I know you want to keep on trucking and not even think about them. Well, let's face it, they're not going away all on their own. You need professional help. I've been helping truckers put their tax problems in the rearview mirror for years. I can help you too. Call me for a free consultation at 888-632-4506 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. It's like I always say, keep your eyes on the road, I'll keep mine on the IRS. 888-632-4506.
How do you sleep on the road? After downtime, do you wake up well-rested and invigorated or tired, achy, and sore? Well, if it's the latter, you're not sleeping on the Big Rig Mattress. The Big Rig Mattress is a hybrid with an individually pocketed spring core that's engineered to deliver the best restorative sleep for your time on the road. Learn more about the Big Rig Mattress at thebigrigmattress.com or call 877-736-4233. The Big Rig Mattress, 100% made in the USA since 2009.
Because Channel 19's a little congested. Call Steve now at 844-844-3388. The Overnight Drive.
All these stories, several callers have shared about these, breakthrough cases, breakthrough. And people, still even hospitalized, fully vaccinated. What Baby Bear just said, the individual that, the antibodies, fully vaccinated, antibodies pretty much gone. These are all the kind of things that obviously the scientific community's still trying to get a grasp on. Deranger sent me this story out of Michigan. Sad story. But they were fully vaccinated. Sarah Dunham says her parents, Cal and Linda, did everything together. The church-going, community-minded outdoor enthusiasts loved their family, especially their grandchildren, and most of all, each other. The love that they found together after a previous marriage is fantastic, says Sarah. They were the people you just looked at and you were like, I want to be old like that. I want that love when I'm that age. They were very cautious when it came to COVID. They were both fully vaccinated, had been for months. When during a family camping trip earlier this month, they began to feel sick. Sarah said, my dad called me before our family camping trip and said he wasn't feeling real good, but he thinks it's just like sinus. And then Mom caught it, and she's like, he gave me his cold. The third day, they woke me up and said, we got to go. We don't feel so well. So I packed them all up, and they left the camping trip. Days later, the couple were hospitalized, both on ventilators. Now, both had pre-existing conditions that made things even more dire. By this past Sunday, doctors were telling Sarah and the family, there wasn't much more they could do, and the couple would probably need to come off life support on Monday. Sarah said they had other plans. It was like Sunday, and Dad's like, you know what? This is what we're going to be doing on today. After wheeling them both into the same room, Cal passed away at 11:07 a.m. At 11:08 a.m., less than a minute later, Linda passed away as the couple held hands in their hospital beds. Just, Sarah said, I take some solace in knowing that just like in life, they were together in death. But now she says anger is setting in. Anger over knowing people aren't taking this virus as seriously as they should. I hear so many people like, well, if I catch COVID, I catch COVID. That's what it is. She said, they did everything right. They did everything to protocol. They did it by the book. It's, yes, very sad story, but. All right, back to the phones we go here. Lines available at 844-844-3388. And hello, Philip. What's going on in Florida this morning?
Just driving down here to the Mouse House to play today. I feel sorry for that family you were just talking about.
Yep.
There's something that I'm a Christian guy, and something I got to think about. The way I think about things, Steve, you dealt the cards you're dealt with. When your time is time, it's time. And that's when your clock is up, your clock is up. And if COVID's going to take you, COVID's going to take you. If anything takes you, it's going to take you.
Yep.
So whatever was planned for you in the grand scheme of things was planned that way. And I feel sorry for that family. I do give them my condolences. I got a real good friend that's he's pretty bad sick right now. It ain't a COVID thing. It's he had a stroke about a week and a half ago. Have you ever heard the name Larry Sasser, Steve?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, you ever heard a song called Looking Out the Windshield? Watching it pass me on the right, everything passed me on the right. You ever heard of Dale Reeves?
Oh, yeah, looking at the world through the windshield. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, guess who was in that band with Dale Reeves in that song? Have you ever watched Nashville Now with Ralph Emery back in the TNN days?
Yeah.
All right. There used to be a musician they used to pick on a lot there. His name was Wimpy. That was Larry Sasser. If you ever went to the Grand Ole Opry back in the 70s and the 80s, and you seen Connie Smith, you seen Margot, all those folks, you saw Larry Sasser. Well, Larry Sasser right now, he's on life support. Supposed to be today, and I really feel sorry for his wife, Evelyn. She's been doing a heck of a job trying to keep everybody aware of what's going on with him. They're going to move him to hospice today, and then possibly when he gets to hospice, they're going to take him off life support. They don't know exactly if he'll go or when he'll go, but we just want to keep our thoughts and prayers with Larry. But Larry has got a catalog that is a mile long of all the records and all the gigs and you name it. I mean, who would think a guy from Georgia would get that far? That was what he always told me, and I'm really going to miss him if he does pass. And he's a really good friend to all us steel guitar players out there. We learned a lot from Larry. I went to the '86 Steel Guitar Convention. First guy I met was Larry Sasser, and he was showing me licks at the Steel Guitar Convention at the Emmons Guitar booth. So, I mean, I just have a lot of memories of Larry, and I just want to send my thoughts and prayers out for Evelyn and the family and everybody for Larry.
Wow.
Now, getting on this COVID thing. I heard Roadmaster's comments, and I heard Baby Bear's comments. Roadmaster, I feel your pain, bud. I've been going through this last month. I don't have a very high-paying job. I don't make as much money as I used to, especially when I drove a truck. But you got to do what you got to do to keep your job. And like Moose said, they're holding us hostage on some of that stuff. I get it. You know, I understand it. But I'll tell you what, man, when you got a date thrown on your head, when you got to get everything done by, it makes you realize what the heck is life going about. And Roadmaster, you had mentioned about the Walmart greeter. Welcome to Walmart. Well, that gentleman or that lady who does that job, by October 30th, they better have their stuff done. I'm put all my information in with Walmart because I'm a Walmart associate, and I got all my stuff done on Friday. So all that information went to Walmart. My Disney stuff, I got an email from them yesterday directly from the company to me telling me that within the next week I'll be getting my email to, they're actually having a company that's going to analyze our cards to make sure everything's legit on our cards.
Wow.
That we got it done. So if anybody understands anything about this, I sure as hell do. And I've never been put in a position, a more awkward position in my life than I have in the last 3 months.
So, I mean, you know, I don't know if you heard my comments earlier. I said, you know, if I were still at the former employer with more than 100 employees, because they've got thousands of employees, and I would have been in that boat. Yeah, you were forced to make that choice, right? I said, if I was in that position, I said, you know, because my wife asked me, I said, I'd probably take the shot because, I mean, yeah, that's my livelihood. That's how am I going to pay my bills if not? And the reason my wife asked me that question is, I said my daughter is pretty much in that same position right now. She's talking about letting her employer fire her. She's making decent money. She works for a government contractor, and she's in that position as a government contractor. I don't know if they've set a date for her yet or not, but it's get the shot or lose your job kind of thing. So that's what my wife was saying. Should she get it? What would you do? So I don't know. I mean, if she's going to lose her job, I'm telling her probably, you know, Beth, you know, I guess I'd just get the damn shot, you know?
Well, the way that it was presented to me at Disney was, and the way our union passed it, there's 2 exemptions for it. One exemption is medical. So if you have an underlying condition or something that causes you to can't get the shot.
Right.
And they're going to work that on a case-by-case basis. So if I'm say per se, I'm in monorails right now. I deal with thousands of people a day. I drive the train. I take people on the train. I see people all day long. I've been in that position for 11 years. Okay. So say if I have a health condition that keeps me from getting my shot and I have to greet people, then I'm put into another role. I'm not saying I'm demoted, but I'm put into another role backstage, which means I won't be around the guests. And then my case will be evaluated, and depending on the evaluation of my case, I could be let go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing. With Walmart, it's the same kind of situation. If you're on the floor with the customers, and you're dealing with the customers or to where it can be spread, they're doing it. But the thing with Walmart that's a little different than Disney, and Disney hasn't really talked about it as much, is how they're going to handle people that cannot get it or about the testing. Walmart says that they're going to test it. You're going to have to be tested weekly, and it's going to be on your dime.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. These quick COVID tests are one thing, but if they want it on paper, it seemed like to me, Steve, it costs a little bit more than $1 to get a official test each week to show that you're clean.
And I'm sure they're not.
And they're basically strong.
They're not going to accept the quick test you can buy at CVS and Walgreens, right?
Absolutely, they're gonna want you to get a legit test that is read by a doctor, that kind of thing. Okay, and they're basically strong arming people, like Moose said. They're strong arming people. Listen, I'm not anti-vax. I'm not vax. I'm in between. I am Switzerland. I am neutral on this deal. I have tried to be since the beginning of it. The reason I got my shot was because I had to, because of my work. And then I went out and did my research, and I got the Pfizer shot because it was FDA approved. Okay. And that's the way it is with me. And I'm not going to bash either side of it.
Yep.
Because I'm exposed to thousands of people a day, Steve.
Every day.
I mean, dude, every day. I mean, I can't give you the exact number, but I'm going to tell you what, I see a lot of people. And there ain't no telling how much flu, colds, disease. I mean, I think I've had this conversation with you before on the air that I've been exposed to. And, you know, it's one of those things. Somebody, Baby Bear was talking about it. You were talking about that. And somebody never have COVID. You know what they are? They're called asymptomatic. Asymptomatic says that you can carry it and you don't even get it. So, and I know that a lot of us out here at Disney, we have a lot of antibodies for a lot of different things because we've dealt with so many people over the years. I mean, I deal with people from foreign lands. I deal with people from here in the United States. So it's one of those things. And we're having to deal with it. And I feel your pain on it, guys. So it's just one of those things. I just want to give my side of the story. And that's about it, Steve. You have a good one, bud. Thank you. I know you're at the top of the hour here, and I'm sorry.
Not a problem. Hey, good to hear from you. Philip, thanks. And hey, there's millions of people in that exact position right now. We get a news update top of the hour, the midnight hour for our listening friends on the West Coast. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
USA Radio News with Tim Berg.
It's a big week for the Biden administration as Democrats try wrangling key pieces of President Biden's agenda through Congress in face of steep Republican opposition. The latest blow to the White House came on Monday when Senate Republicans blocked a bill that would have funded the government and averted a default in U.S. debts. Senate Minority Leader Kentucky Republican Mitch McConnell on Tuesday criticizes his Democratic colleagues.
If Democrats want to use fast-track, party-line procedures to ram through trillions more in inflationary socialism, they'll have to use the same tools to handle the debt limit.
Richard Stafford, an attorney for Gabby Petito's family, is asking her missing fiancé to turn himself in. Stafford added Brian Laundrie's family didn't help them find Petito, and they won't help find him. USA Radio News.
Hi, I'm Wayne Alaroot for Patriot Vpn. Patriot Vpn is a virtual private network service that uses military-grade encryption to protect your internet connection on all of your devices. With Patriot VPN, your data and internet privacy is secure anywhere in the world. Why do you need Patriot VPN? Cyber criminals, government, even your own internet service provider collect and use your private information without your knowledge. Examples in the news recently, remember all the companies that have been hacked? Cuba censored the internet to kill protests? Here in America, conservative groups are being actively targeted. Your personal information and internet history is being sold by your ISP. It's all happening every day, but not with Patriot VPN. With Patriot VPN, your internet activity and history is protected from prying eyes forever. Patriot VPN is a veteran-owned business right here in the USA. For business or your family, starting at only $6.95 a month, use code WAR and get 3 months free. With an annual subscription, it's all at PatriotVPN.com. That's PatriotVPN.com.
Busy day on Capitol Hill as Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen also testifying before the Senate Banking Committee after Senate Republicans blocked a bill to keep the United States government funded. Yellen says it would be detrimental to many Americans, including senior citizens and troops, if the debt ceiling is not raised.
It would be disastrous for the American economy, for global financial markets, and for millions of families and workers whose financial security would be jeopardized by delayed payments.
Yellen adding that waiting until the last minute to raise the debt ceiling can undermine confidence in financial markets and creditworthiness of the United States. Jared Ramos, a man who killed 5 people at a Maryland newspaper, will spend the rest of his life in prison. Ramos given multiple life sentences without the possibility of parole Tuesday, more than 3 years after the deadly murders at the Capitol Gazette. USA Radio News.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, and I want to tell you that arthritis is not a genetic thing. It's not a disease of aging. Neither is osteoporosis. Get a hold of my book. It's all in your head. It goes into the 25 different diseases you get when you have osteoporosis of the skull. These are all reversible. You take the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, the MSM, vitamin D3, stay away from all the bad foods, including gluten, and guess what? You'll regrow all your bones, including your skull and your legs and your hips and everything else. Contact us at usaradiohealth.com. That's usaradiohealth.com.
A Border Patrol agent is speaking out after comments made by the Biden administration over the last week.
Border Patrol agents are mad and upset that leadership is throwing them under the bus, a top official with the agency's union told Fox News in Del Rio, Texas. National Border Patrol Council Vice President John Anfinson tells Fox News.
The agents feel like at all levels of management, from CBP to DHS to the White House, that they've been thrown under the bus because no investigation has been completed, yet you're hearing the president say these people will pay. The secretary echoed those sentiments, and then Friday, of course, CBP's commissioner basically said the same thing. So agents are upset.
Images of Border Patrol agents on horseback pursuing Haitian migrants went viral with erroneous accusations that the officials were whipping the immigrants. From the USA Radio News, West Texas Bureau, I'm Brad Bernards.
Ford is looking to expand its electric vehicle plants in the United States with a new manufacturing plant in Tennessee and battery manufacturing plants in Kentucky. CEO Jim Farley telling Fox News workers were a key factor in the company's decision to open plants in those states.
The availability of skilled labor in high quantity was one of the key reasons why we're building these sites where they are.
Farley goes on to say the plants will create 11,000 new jobs. For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
diesel particulate filter regeneration.
The DPF catches particulates left over from combustion. The DPF regeneration cycle cleans the filter with temperatures exceeding 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. A computer sensor triggers the DPF regen, which is often accompanied by a loss of power and fuel economy. The frequency of DPF regens are in correlation to the cleanliness of the fuel burn. Under heavy operation with the dirty burn, DPF regens can occur multiple times per day. Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme Fuel Additive promotes a more complete combustion, creating fewer emissions and therefore fewer DPF regens. Vehicles using Diesel Extreme experience 83% less DPF regens.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
How can it be possible that even former President Barack Obama is at odds with the Biden administration with the open border policy? Is that possible? We're talking about a president who routinely pushed for open border immigration when he was president. But he acknowledged this past morning on Good Morning America, it's not sustainable. Talking about the Biden administration's ongoing crisis at the southern border. Obama said, quote, "Immigration's tough. It's always been. Because on one hand, I think we're naturally a people that want to help others, and we see tragedy and hardship in families that are desperately trying to get here so their kids are safe, and they're in some cases fleeing violence or a catastrophe. At the same time, though, we are a nation state. We have borders. The idea that we can just have open borders is something as a practical matter that is not sustainable." Elsewhere in the interview, he called the scenes playing out along the border in Del Rio heartbreaking, a painful reminder that we don't have this right yet, and we've got more work to do. So they cleared out the 15 or 17 or however many thousand were there. But again, it has been confirmed. I touched on it last evening on the program. It has been confirmed that there are tens of thousands more Haitians, primarily, on the way. Fox News confirming with Mexican officials. An enormous number of Haitians are coming up from South America, headed for the southern border. Currently, about 2,000 are in Temecula, Mexico, registering for work permits so they can stay there until they continue moving toward the southern border. Toward the end of the video, Jenkins says that Mexican officials confirmed There are another 15,000 or so headed up from South America right now. Mexico is actually opening a football stadium to help deal with it. Yeah, we're talking way down in southern Mexico. Now, who can blame the Haitians from doing what the prior 15,000 did? They'll come to the border. They'll camp out at the Del Rio Bridge. Biden will release them into the country to get rid of the political damaging spectacle. You know, these illegals are essentially manipulating the hell out of Biden because he's a weak, cowardly president. And who will ultimately pay the price? Okay, I think you can answer that question. Let me see. Would that be Randy, I believe it is. What's going on, Randy?
Hey, Steve. Well, I'm just trying to get a big handle on this. Sitting driving down the road there the other day, get to thinking about, remember when, there was, we hear about people can't get cattle in to get them butchered and stuff like that because there's only really 4 major packing plants anymore. And look at the automotive companies, there's only really major 3, but you got Honda and Toyota trickling in there, you've got some of that, but there's no competition anymore. And when you really break it down, are you still there?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Are you still there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, so when you break this down, and the government really only has, like, if we go back years ago, we used to understand that those who control the food controls the world. The United States controlled the food for years. But now we're into a situation where all of this is monopolized. You look at the government handouts to everybody, including the farmers, okay? They paid farmers about 10, 12 years ago when the droughts were going through. They were paying farmers. Initially, it was a big rainstorm, and they couldn't get their crops put out. They paid the farmers for not getting the crops out. They have to pay. The farmers are paying crop insurance and all this. But when you are paid more to not produce than you are to produce, there's a problem. And isn't that the way so many of the democratic way of life? But once I make you dependent on me, I will control you. And that is what is going on with our government. And they are just trying to suck people in so that they have control. And they are. Once they have control of them, it's kind of like the information sector, we go back to the news media and everything. Look how they did in Afghanistan. They had to drop pamphlets off years ago out of airplanes because women in Afghanistan had no clue that they could even have a voice. And they were giving them the information through pamphlets that, hey, the United States really isn't nearly as bad as what you think. Well, we see how that all went. It was going the right direction. Sorry thing is, we've not fought a war in 50 years that we planned on winning. We just want to give them more handouts. But, again, it goes back to the control issue.
Right.
I'm going to jump subjects here just a little bit, but if you talk about the COVID, I was a manager of cattle feed yard. We had 5,000 head of cattle on feed. And this kind of sounds like Mycoplasma pneumonia. And the Mycoplasma pneumonia was something that was really hard to work with because it had no cell wall. If you go back and you think about things, you get a cold or you get a virus here, virus there. The idea is to break down the cell wall so it can get to the nucleus of the disease or whatever, so you can combat it. But I have not heard anybody sit down and say, this is the makeup. Here's the situation. This is how the COVID is made up. This is how we got to break it down to where we can handle it. It doesn't seem like we're doing any of that. And it kind of bothers me because we have so many very intelligent scientists. Hell, I said right from the beginning, if we put veterinaries out here in charge of this damn COVID virus, we would have it whipped in 2 days, because there's so many diseases in livestock that they've had to work with for years, There's something more to all of this. And I'm kind of like the guy from Mickey Mouse Land. I'm a Christian man, and when I get to thinking about, there's people so concerned about this coronavirus, I understand, but I'm not taking a shot. I mean, they'll have to get me down, and they might as well figure on killing. But the thing about it is, years ago, and let's look at the Amish community, you really don't even hear them talking about it. You don't hear about them getting it. But if years ago they weren't worried about dying, I mean, it seems funny that nowadays everybody thinks they're going to live forever. You get the COVID virus, you're going to live forever, or COVID shot, you're going to live forever. It don't work that way. When your number's up, your number's up. That's all there is to it. Anyway, I'll sit back and listen, and have a good night, Steve.
All right, good to hear from you. Thank you so much, Randy, and good to have you with us here. And the line's available at 844-844-3388. Hey, something you need to pay attention to here if you are one of those motor carriers who's been voluntarily operating under the FMCSA's COVID emergency declaration. To date, you've been able to do that without doing anything special. I think you have to have a copy of the declaration and whatnot. You are going to be required to report the number of trips in which you've used the exemption. Now, this is they initially implemented all the way back in like March of 2020. They've extended it, providing emergency regulatory relief for truckers providing direct assistance related to the pandemic. September marks the first month for this reporting requirement, though. When they extended the declaration at the end of August, they announced some changes, including the requirement that motor carriers must report their reliance on the declaration within 5 days after the end of each succeeding month, which means for the month of September, carriers will have until October the 5th to fulfill that requirement for the month of September. So how do you take care of this? To report, motor carriers can access your portal account, log in with the company's FMCSA portal credentials, then you go to Emergency Declaration Reporting under the FMCSA systems, the system section on the page. As of this past day, that reporting function was available through that portal account. The FMCSA pretty much seeking basic information, the number of trips using the declaration, which commodities you are transporting. Looks like the forum's option for the number of trips. You can click on 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 50, or over 50. Carriers are also asked to select all the commodities that they hauled under the exemption. They're supposedly just trying to get some basic information about how much the exemption is being used. Is it necessary maybe to extend further, or has it run its course and time to wind it down, that sort of thing. But again, for those who have used the exemption at all during the month of September, you will have till October 5th to report that. And we return into the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Some say their truck reflects who they are, dependable and reliable. That's why you trust Blue Def. Now the best just got better. Introducing Blue Def Platinum, a revolutionary innovation with advanced system shield technology to significantly reduce harmful deposits. To maintain fuel economy, save money on costly repairs, and sustain the life of your SCR system, there's only one DEF to choose. Blue Def Platinum. The best just got better.
For anything diesel, take it to Scheid Diesel. They provide a wide variety of services and diagnostics to determine what the problem is with the latest technology. From simple oil changes and preventative maintenance to fuel system diagnostics and repairs, engine rebuilds and cylinder head repairs, and rebuilds with our in-house machine shop. They also have on-site DPF cleaning for exhaust issues and DOT inspections. If your diesel is asking for some attention, Scheid Diesel has the specialist you need for anything diesel. Located in Terre Haute and Lafayette, Indiana, and Effingham, Illinois, Scheid Diesel has you covered.
You work hard. You deserve a seat that works just as hard as you do. The Bostrom T-Series seat has provided drivers with comfort for millions of miles over the past 3 decades. Each seat is built right here in the USA and has 4-position front cushion tilt and higher low-profile air suspension with isolator. It's also equipped with many standard and optional comfort features, such as high and mid backrests, 9.4-inch 4-aft slide adjustment, adjustable armrests, and manual or dual air lumbar support systems to keep you comfortable throughout your ride. Build your T-Series seat today at BostromSeating.com and ensure your ultimate comfort for wherever the road takes you. Bostrom Seating, the ultimate comfort for the open road.
Keep the bugs off your glass and the smokies off your ass. This is the Overnight Drive with Steve Summers.
Other industry headlines here, rolling into a Wednesday hump day coming on here. Truck driver was seriously hurt after driving into a bridge pier in Missouri Monday morning. New Madrid County, Missouri. The 45-year-old unnamed driver was heading north on I-55, about 3 miles south of Matthews, when he ran off the left side of the road, striking the bridge pier. The force of that wreck destroyed 20 feet of guardrail and a bridge pier, damaged a second pier, and obliterated the cab of the 2017 Kenworth. Now, serious injuries. Truck driver was airlifted to a St. Louis hospital. Current condition unknown, but prayers for that driver. Then Customs and Border Protection recently seizing a staggering amount of illegal drugs from a commercial vehicle arriving into the U.S. from Mexico last Thursday at the Eagle Pass Camino Real Cargo Facility in Eagle Pass, Texas. Officers encountered a 2010 Freightliner hauling an empty box trailer arriving from Mexico. The truck was referred for a secondary inspection via canine unit, a non-intrusive imaging system, and then a physical inspection. Officers discovering 1,221 pounds of suspected methamphetamine within the walls of the trailer. Estimated street value of the drugs, $24.5 million. They seized the drugs, the truck, the trailer, but the drugs just pouring into the country from our southern border. All right, meanwhile, let's get back to the calls here. And Eagle on board this morning. Hello, Eagle.
Yeah, man. How you doing, Steve? I'm awake tonight. I had a couple problems last night. I was pretty tired. When you put me on, but I'm definitely ready to talk and raise some hell tonight. You know something, Steve, I heard some news today, as I was driving in Texas. I just left my house, Monday, and I heard some news, man. Well, it's really no surprise, to hear this news about Joe Biden, Steve. from the governor of Texas about the border situation. Here's how Joe Biden. Here's how much of a loser that Joe Biden is, Steve. Do you realize that Greg Abbott, who is the governor of Texas, he was on a radio show today in Texas doing an interview about the border crisis. And can you believe this? He said that Joe Biden nor Kamala Harris has been in contact with him since he has been in the White House. He has not received a phone call, email, or no kind of communication. He says that he has no communication whatsoever with Joe Biden or Kamala Harris about the border situation. Now, you tell me that's a dereliction of duty. Don't you think so, that Joe Biden wouldn't be in contact with the governor of Texas?
So I guess was Biden trying to divvy the responsibility to somebody else? But I guess Homeland Security, because they've had Mayorkas down there a couple times, so they're sending somebody else to do the dirty work.
Well, Joe Biden is the one that needs to go down there. I'm going to use the example I used with you a couple of months ago, Steve. Donald Trump is not even the president anymore, and Donald Trump has been down to the border. Donald Trump made a trip down to Texas about 2 months ago, I think it was, to meet with Greg Abbott and to check it out the situation. He ain't even the president, and he's been down to the border. There is no reason whatsoever that Joe Biden can't go down there to the border and see and talk to the Border Patrol agents. They say that the morale is down. They feel like Joe Biden stabbed him in the back, which he did do, him and his administration, when they said that this bogus photograph of this man on horseback, apparent so-called whipping Haitian refugee was nothing but a lie. And then another thing to lie about the situation, Steve, that guy that was in the video, I found out over the weekend, that was a Hispanic guy. That wasn't a white guy. They tried to make it out like it was a white man that was on the horse and he had a whipping, and they talking about Maxine Waters talking about it looked like slavery and Jesse, Al Sharpton. This was not even a white man on the horse, Steve. This was a Hispanic man. It just shows you how stupid these people are and how much they're trying to turn it into a racial situation. But like I say, what I'm pissed off about is the Biden administration not being in communication with Greg Abbott on the border situation. That tells me, and that should tell everybody that lives in the state of Texas, that Joe Biden doesn't care about the people of Texas, and he doesn't care about the people of the United States either. There is no reason whatsoever for Biden not to be making phone calls to Greg Abbott, trying to get this man help. Greg Abbott has done everything he can, Steve. He has put, like I told you, I live in Texas. He sent almost every state trooper down to the Texas state border. I mean, to the Del Rio, Texas, and like they call it a steel barrier. I don't know how many state trooper vehicles that this guy parked on the border to try to act as a border wall, as a deterrent to these Haitian people to getting into the USA. Greg Abbott has done everything. He sent Border Patrol agents. He's done everything. He hasn't got no cooperation whatsoever from the Biden administration, and I'm fed up with it. And a lot of people down here in Texas are fed up with it. You know, especially when you gave me the devastating news on Sunday night when I talked to you, Steve, when you said that more caravans are headed towards the USA. Yep. You said 15,000 more Haitians are headed to the USA as we speak. Yep. This is unheard of. What'd you say, Steve?
Yeah, that's true. That is correct. They confirmed that yesterday, that the Mexican government says they're down there. You heard me to say they're opening up a damn football stadium to try to put all these people into they can move further north.
Yep. Yeah, it makes no sense, Steve. For this many individuals. And the reason why, people, you keep hearing me say that Joe Biden should put his foot down and take a stance, because Joe Biden, he should be on TV right now. He should be on TV telling these individuals that you are not welcome in the USA. We have no room for you. There's nothing we can do for you. You need to stay where you are. Stay in Panama, Chile, Brazil, or wherever you're coming from. You need to stay where you're at, because we're not allowing you into the USA. But you don't hear Joe Biden saying, you don't hear him saying nothing. You definitely don't hear that invisible vice president saying who's supposed to be responsible for the border crisis, and she has done absolutely nothing. Like I told you last week, Steve, I challenge anybody, any of your listeners out there, because I know you got a few Democrats that listen to your show. I dare you to call the show tonight and tell me one thing that Kamala has done to stop the flow of illegal immigrants into the USA since she was assigned that job 7 or 8 months ago. I promise you, because she hasn't done absolutely nothing, and she won't do nothing about it. And like I said, if Joe Biden couldn't have went down to Del Rio last week, Kamala should have went down there. But like I told you the other night, Steve, she found time to go to The View. She found time to go to The View. A bunch of talking hens, Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of them losers on that show. She had enough time to go to that show and flap her mouth, but she couldn't go down to the U.S. border to protect American people. This is a serious situation, Steve. In the next week or two, we could have another 15,000 people under the bridge in Del Rio, Texas, and it doesn't need to happen. It needs to be stopped right now. This caravan that's on their way to the USA needs to be stopped, and it needs to be stopped immediately. Because, and like I say, Steve, how Joe Biden can get away with what he's doing, I can't believe how he can lie to the American people. Those 20,000 people that was under that bridge last week in Del Rio, Steve, those people are not back in Haiti. You gave the numbers, and I looked up the numbers myself. Yep. They released at least 10 to 12,000 people into the U.S., and they might have sent 5 or 6 of them back to Haiti or back into Mexico. But I promise you, at least 10,000 Haitians are in the United States right now. What'd you say?
That's the correct number. You are 100% correct, Eagle. I got to get a quick news break in here, but hang in there. We'll return the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
America's top military commanders appearing before a U.S. Senate panel and answering some tough questions about the pullout of American troops from Afghanistan recently. Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley saying afterwards that Defense Chief Lloyd Austin would not admit that Americans have been left behind there.
But he said that. He's under oath. And he actually said that. You know what? It's a Joe Biden talking point. I mean, Joe Biden's White House has said that, we didn't actually leave Americans behind. Guess what? We're not in Afghanistan. The American civilians still are.
Some of the officials testified that they had advised the president to leave at least 2,500 U.S. troops in Afghanistan, but he chose not to do so. White House spokeswoman Jen Psaki on that.
Secretary Austin specifically said, if you stayed there at a forced posture of 2,500, certainly you'd be in a fight with the Taliban and you'd have to reinforce.
This is USA Radio News.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, a veterinarian physician and founder of Youngevity, great nutritional company, based on 90 for Life. 90 essential nutrients, all vertebrates, whether you're a wombat, an elephant, a giraffe, an ostrich, a human being, a monkey, a cow, a dog or a cat, doesn't matter. All vertebrates require 90 essential nutrients, 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids. They help prevent birth defects. There are no genetic birth defects. That's my thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute of Natural Treasure. There are no genetically transmitted diseases. They're all nutritional deficiency diseases. That's why my thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute of Natural Treasure. I want you to get on the 90 for Life program, 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids. And don't forget the Rebound or sports drink. And don't forget, you need your immune system because of all this pandemic virus stuff going around. And so contact us at usaradiohealth.com. Contact us at usaradiohealth.com.
You're listening to the Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers.
Do you have a Dodge pickup and hate your automatic transmission? Of course you do. LaVon Miller at Firepunk Diesel here, and we specialize in heavy-duty and performance transmissions for your 3/4 or 1-ton Cummins-powered truck. So if you're interested in turning your stock slush box into a towing monster, call us today at 614-733-3744 or visit us online at shop.firepunk.com.
Drivers, you demand that your equipment's reliable and dependable, and that also applies to your headset for communication. Well, our friends at Stellar Electronic have you covered. The Pluto Duo headset bundle is the best communication headset you can find in the industry. No matter the challenging environment you're driving in, the Pluto headset will make you sound crystal clear all the time thanks to their 99% noise cancellation. And the Duo's not only a stereo converter for the headset, but also a power bank so you can charge as you go. Learn more at stellaraelectronic.com or visit them on
At
Facebook.
Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme.
today's ultra-low sulfur fuels are cleaner, but they leave injector deposits, causing frequent DPF regens and low throttle response. Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is a 6-in-1 fuel additive recommended for all diesel engines. It is formulated with the most concentrated detergent on the market, a top-tier level cetane booster, lubricity enhancer, water demulsifier, rust and corrosion inhibitors, and a fuel stabilizer. Diesel Extreme is a once every 6-month treatment that will clean your entire fuel system, starting at the fuel tank and traveling throughout the fuel lines and fuel pump, and finally completely cleaning your injectors. Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme improves your diesel's fuel economy and eliminates excessive black smoke.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Diesel Army is on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Burning the midnight oil with the best diesel coverage. All the tech, all the torque. Diesel Army, where there's smoke, there's fire. For the latest news and event coverage, as well as feature and tech articles, sign up for the newsletter and don't miss a thing. Visit dieselarmy.com from the Power Auto Media family of digital magazines. Again, it's dieselarmy.com.
PureFlow AirDog, your leader in fuel air separation system technology. Our systems filter out water, particulates down to 2 micron, and remove all of the air out of your diesel fuel. This allows for nothing but pure, clean diesel fuel to reach the expensive injection system equipped in your vehicle. Not only do our fuel systems protect, they also come in a variety of flow rates to meet your performance needs. Our systems are compact and use OEM-style fittings for an easy installation. Learn more about our product at www.pureflowairdog.com and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Protect your investment with PureFlow AirDog.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers. Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388.
All right, back in the saddle here on a Wednesday. Hump Day coming on. I saw the announcement that the Knoxville-based Pilot Corporation is going to be selling dozens of their convenience store locations and a couple of truck stops in Tennessee and Kentucky. Yesterday morning, Casey's General Stores announced an agreement with Pilot to purchase 40 stores in Tennessee and Kentucky, $220 million. So it looks like we're talking 38 convenience stores and then 2 actual travel centers or truck stops in Nashville and Middlesboro, Kentucky, owned by the Haslam family, not the Pilot Corporation. Now, they point out back in, 2017, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway invested in Pilot. They own 38.6% share and has plans to assume a majority share of the company by 2023. These Pilot convenience stores were not part of the Berkshire Hathaway transaction and remained part of a separate corporation under the control of the Haslam family. According to the spokesperson for Casey's, these stores have a track record of strong performance. They're high-quality assets that will be a great fit for Casey's fresh food program, especially our handmade pizza. All right, Casey's, founded in Iowa back in 1968. They right now operate more than 2,300 convenience stores, making them the 3rd largest convenience store retailer in the country. So, 40 more locations going to be added to the list there. Meanwhile, let's get back to the calls. Lone Ranger, what's going on this morning?
Good morning. Does Spaceman still check in once in a while?
It's been quite a while, Ranger. Quite a while since he's checked in.
Really? Well, if he's listening, I need to have him send me a text because I'm in Carlisle and he lives here, so I'd like to have him check in with me. The reason why Kamala and Joe Biden are not commenting or communicating with the governor of Texas is because this is not a crisis to them. By the way, if I sound funny, I'm wearing my night guard. I got to wear it to protect my teeth at night. This is what they want. They want to fill this country up with minorities so they can change the demographics because their voter base consists of minorities. Except if you're from Cuba, because if you're from Cuba, even though you're a minority, you are living in a socialist country and you are more apt to vote Republican. So if you'll never see 12,000 Cubans at the border because he's telling them they got to go home. Don't even bother coming up here. We're going to send you back. But if you're apt to vote Democrat, once they figure out a way to give people voting rights, you're welcome. So to Joe and Camel Toe, this is what they want. When a Democrat is doing anything that doesn't make sense, you have to look at the political advantage. The political advantage is they see these as future Democrat votes. The goal is to eliminate the Republican Party and have a one-party system, just like California, and you see where that's gone. We're going to be bankrupt. Pelosi's pushing this bill as hard as she can. She's twisting arms. It's sad that the future of the country depends on about 3 Democrats. If 3 Democrats vote no, it doesn't go through. So we're relying on 3 Democrats to say no. The Republicans, who I guess get castrated before they go into office when they get elected, they should be all over Joe Biden. I heard that a couple of them filed impeachment papers, but I haven't heard any follow-up on it.
Right, because they don't go
Joe
anywhere.
Biden,
Nancy Pelosi never takes them up. I think there's been 4 separate attempts. But again, Nancy just file 13. She's not going to introduce them.
It's all politics. That's all it is. This is the difference between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Donald Trump was a rich guy who became a politician, and Joe Biden is a politician who became a rich guy being a politician. He wants to raise the business tax, personal income tax, capital gains tax, $3 trillion worth of new taxes in this monstrosity bill, but they don't talk about that. They keep saying, oh, this is for the infrastructure. It's 10,000 pages, Steve. It gives illegal aliens free college in addition to the benefits already getting. They shipped a bunch of them to Philadelphia, shipped a bunch of them to Harrisburg, and many of them can't even speak English. So they have to go on the government dole because where are they going to go get a job if you can't speak English? So this is, I mean, when Barack Obama says it's a problem, he's as Democrat and as left as you can get, then it's a problem. But I agree with Eagle 100% that they need to not let them come in here. Now, for decades, we heard that the reason they can't arrest illegal aliens for being here illegally is because they couldn't find them. They're hiding in the shadows. Here's 15 to 20,000 under a bridge. Right there they are, but they didn't get arrested. They got welcomed into the country. And what gets me, Joe's big thing is the vaccine, wear a mask, that's political too. They're trying to make it look worse than what it is because that's their ticket to voting without being there in person. They're going to try to make it look like you need to stay home because it's a new strain. The other reason why he's pushing the vaccine is that he bought millions of doses and they're going unused. And I guess they have a shelf life. And if they expire, they can't use them. Plus, I'm sure there's a kickback involved from Big Pharma. It's so political. But every single topic you touch, they tried to change the narrative from the border crisis into a border patrol racial crisis, like Eagle said. And the tax cheat, race hustler, and shakedown artist Al Sharpton went down there and tried to run his mouth. And to the credit of the people in Texas, they shouted him down. So people can see through this guy. I mean, there's nothing. It's readily apparent what he's trying to do. He's trying to make it a racial thing because that's how he makes his money. But they shouted him down. And as far as the Border Patrol on horseback, if you look close at the video, the Haitians are attacking the guy on the horse. They're running up to the horse. In fact, some of them had women in front of them as a shield in case the horse would, hit him with the hoof or jump on him. So those guys with those long reins were not only trying to keep them to cross the river, but they were protecting the border. And the reason they have long reins on those horses is to control the horse because you can't use spurs anymore. And that's why they have the long reins. They use the long reins to, get the horse to gallop or whatever, because they don't use spurs anymore. But they actually, by keeping the people away from the horse, they're protecting the people. Do you know what happens if a 2,000-pound horse steps on your foot? They were attacking the horses, and that's why they were pushed back. But they tried, and even Camleto, when she went on The View, right away, she went right to the race card. Oh, this is terrible. This is, reminds us of slavery. Oh, come on. That's changing the narrative. And you got the illiterate, low IQ people that watch. I mean, who watches The View? Who has an empty life that's that empty where they watch a far left show like that with a bunch of loudmouths on there, and they're all as left as you can go. I don't know how they have one viewer, but some people are stupid, just like the people who watch CNN, MSNBC. That's why they're stupid, because they don't hear the whole story. But the border is not a problem for Joe Biden. That's what he wants. And as far as the taxes, this bill, they're going to hire tens of thousands more IRS people. They want to monitor every bank transaction over $600. So that's not taxing and punishing the rich. I don't think the rich make $600 transactions. That's the working class. They want to go after the working class. Meanwhile, the guy that wants to go after your transactions and watch your taxes owes $500,000 himself. So everything is hypocrisy. The vaccine thing is hypocrisy. The same thing he's telling you need to get, he refused to get when Trump was president. Same vaccine, nothing different. So that's phony. The border thing is phony because they see him as future Democrat votes. Camleto went to El Paso, Texas to address the problem, and there is no problem in El Paso, Texas. Who the hell is going to walk all the way up to El Paso, Texas, when you can cross down at the tip of Texas, down in Del Rio? Who the hell is going to go another 800 miles? You have to be a moron. So everything is political. Joe Biden is a career politician, period. It's all political. And anybody that doesn't pay attention, you don't hear too many Biden supporters coming out and talking about what a great job he's doing, Steve. But all I can say to the Biden supporters is, put a yard sign in your yard if you voted for Biden. That way, when the illegals come, they know which house to go to get food and shelter. Because if you're for Biden, you're for illegals coming here. So give them food and provide them a place to live. That's all I got, Steve. See you.
Thank you, Ranger, for checking in. Have a great morning. It is 8 before the hour. If you notice, prices at the pump continue to tick higher. Yep, that would be the fact. We're paying more than $1 per gallon more than we were this time a year ago. Prices overall up a couple of cents over the past week. Get a quick 2-minute timeout. Come back more on those numbers. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Are you having trouble sleeping? Are you tired all the time? Growing older is a fact of life. Our skin starts to wrinkle, muscles get weaker, and our energy levels plummet. If there was a product that may help you slow down these symptoms of aging, would you be interested? I want you to go to getonthegel.com. That is getonthegel.com. Watch this 4-minute video that explains more about this amazing product. Or call us at Youth Fountain HGH today at 513-472-0699 for more information.
Diesel Army is on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Burning the midnight oil with the best diesel coverage. All the tech, all the torque. Diesel Army, where there's smoke, there's fire. For the latest news and event coverage, as well as feature and tech articles, sign up for the newsletter and don't miss a thing. Visit dieselarmy.com from the Power Auto Media family of digital magazines. Again, it's dieselarmy.com.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud, always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
Do you have a Dodge pickup and hate your automatic transmission? Of course you do. Levon Miller at Firepunk Diesel here, and we specialize in heavy-duty and performance transmissions for your 3-quarter or 1-ton Cummins-powered truck. So if you're interested in turning your stock slush box into a towing monster, call us today at 614-733-3744 or visit us online at shop.firepunk.com.
And now, back to the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
Hey, I got the numbers from the Energy Information Administration, the weekly numbers, and price for national average price per gallon now at $3.40 per gallon. Higher prices reported in 8 out of 10 regions. The Midwest saw the biggest increase, more than 3.5 cents per gallon. So, yeah, national average $3.40. Look at some of the different regions here. $3.37 along the East Coast. Midwest at $3.32. $3.14 along the Gulf Coast. Head out west and the numbers go up. $3.60 a gallon in the Rocky Mountain region, West Coast at $4.03. California averaging $4.33 per gallon. Highest prices in the country, as always. Meanwhile, let me get back to the calls here. What do you say? Good morning, Vic.
Oh, good morning, Steve. Well, long story short, we're headed for hyperinflation, what they call it the super commodity cycle, because they pump so much money into the economy. And I don't know if you're familiar with the term, you've probably heard this before, that's called velocity. And that's whenever people are spending money rather quickly. And when the velocity picks up, that's what you want to look for. When the velocity starts to pick up on the cash flows, that's about as sure a signal that we're going to have inflation in every commodity coming and going. And the Federal Reserve at some point is going to have to quit pumping out all this money. And then the next thing will be to raise it. You know, they call it tapering. And then the next thing will be they'll have to start raising the interest rates, and who knows what will happen at that point. And you know, right now you were talking about all this stuff with the COVID exemptions on trucking, and we've been talking about these supply chain disruptions. I don't know, but just from a standard common sense output, it looks to me like that they really should start telling these truckers that they should be suspending some of these hours of regulation, some of the more like the 14-hour rule and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the trucks aren't hauling the freight away from the harbors quickly enough, and they aren't loading them on the trains or whatever they do with them, you know, whether they're hauling them all across the country or a lot of those coming out of, I think it's Long Beach or Los Angeles. I believe it's the Los Angeles port. literally had to build underground railroads because of all the congestion going through Los Angeles to get those containers out of there and, get them back across the Rockies. But the big thing is they need to take a long, hard look at the transportation situation and do everything they could to speed up the traffic flows, and that would probably help also hold down the price of commodities. And just as a side point, you were talking about Senator Braun. I still haven't got my $600 second economic income pack. Yeah, what was that? Economic impact payment. That's what. Yeah. So I requested he do an investigation here about a week or so ago, and because my wife with the exact same information got hers, but so I had to sign a privacy release for the center to investigate. What happened with IRS. And the other thing is that I guess the criminal gangs have flocked in here and they're getting all kinds of money from the states and the federal government they're not entitled to. So, when you talk about this budget deficit and budget shutdown and everything else, I believe they need to find out where some of this money went to. And then once they find out where the money went to, because the reason that I request an investigation, I thought, well, it was just maybe me. Well, come to find out, there's about 6 family members from 6 different states that they didn't get theirs either. So it's okay. So what's going on here? But anyway, real quick before I get too far down that road, what we were talking about there with the COVID vaccination and everything, the thing you want to look up, Steve, I know you do a lot of research, but look up B cells and memory B cells. Those are the ones that once you get an infection or a sickness, they remember that antigen or the toxin or poison or whatever you want to say that disease produces, and then they release the antibodies. And if the B cells, I don't know what's going on with COVID or how they came up with it or this mRNA, I don't know anything at all about it.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, I guess the B cells are not remembering this disease or its variants. And this, anyway, there are people who've written vast doctorate thesis on this. But what confused me, they kept talking about this monoclonal thing, and monoclonal thing is usually where somewhere along the line that means only one, and they've taken the infected person's antibodies to produce, more antibodies in case they got sick again. That there's a lot goes on with that in cancer research too, and the B cells are made in the bone marrow, and like I said, there's a whole lot of things that goes with that. But really, what I was calling about was the Randy there that called and was talking about with the veterinarians and everything. That was what frustrated me in the beginning, because there's a United Nations organization called One Health. Well, oddly enough, in 2018, they cut out a USDA and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service from that One Health that is supposed to study the zoonotic diseases, the diseases that come from animals and infect humans. And for the life of me, I cannot understand that. And he was talking about Mycoplasma Pneumonia. That's a bacterial infection, but where this other, the COVID, is a virus infection. But my big thing is, they're always talking about you have to get this vaccine. If you don't, you're going to get barred. You can't go here. You can't go there. And the point is, if the government, surely someplace, somewhere, by now, we should have figured out where this causative organism come from. I know I sound like a broken record, but back when polio hit, the Rockefeller Institute did several years of research on that and backed several different researchers. You have, and maybe a better way to explain that is look at all the work that they do down there in Memphis on the well, I can't believe I can't remember their name, but anyway, Danny Thomas's foundation there at Memphis, there at the cancer research facility that they have down there. And there was a lot of private sector research that had went on, and he has a lot of studies on that. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that this COVID thing is supposedly a zoonotic disease, and the animal health professionals should be deeply involved in this. And we need to find out, what exactly did Fauci know, and when did he know this? I mean, I can't understand why a person that's the director of National Institutes of Health will run around saying, wear a mask, do this and do that. And then we find out that he was studying some type of a virus, and he worked with the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Why is it taking so long to get this information to the American public? And it's like, but we have this vaccine. It's an experimental vaccine. It's emergency use only. So what are they doing on the other side of this, like I was talking about, like with the B cells? And I heard someone mention about how after a while they don't produce antibodies. Well, that's what happens if what's called the memory B cells aren't activated. They forget, that all about this antigen, this whole disease. So they quit making the antibodies. I can't really think of a simple way to explain this, but it's like you're back to where you're not vaccinated anymore. You get a vaccination, or you get sick, you have the antigens. The antigens then are produce the B cells, which, like I said, they come from the bone marrow. Later, they're produced in the lymph system, and the ones that are produced in the lymph system, which is your immunology, those are the memory B cells. And after a while, they disappeared. So, and this not only happens with COVID, it happens with the flu and other things. But before I get, if anybody really wants to look it up, just look up the B cells. Some of it's on the Cancer Research pages or organization, and some is, all types of academic papers. Like I said, they've been doing a lot of research in this, and the mystery part is like if they try to use like cattle serum, well, they call it bovine, I guess.
Bovine.
You could also have sheep, but anyway, if they try to use any of that serum, it seems like they lose their memory right off the bat. So it's like, okay, is this disease somehow connected in with the bovines in some form or fashion, and that they know that your memory B cells won't remember what this COVID is? I mean, I know this might sound as dry as dirt, and to a lot of people, but to me, it's fascinating. The only question is we know all this stuff, and I'm just an old horse doctor, so to speak, and just kind of do this stuff as a hobby. And people that are in this each and every day kept up on research. I just don't understand why we're having such a problem with this, other than I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but that's what it looks like to me. And I guess you know about the whole thing with the Pavlov dog, where you produce certain reflex.
I think they're trying to prolong things, Vic. You go back just last week when you had, one of the vaccine managers, I can't remember. I think it was the Moderna guy. It may have been Pfizer, but the CEO saying, give it about a year. I think we'll have this kicked in a year. About a year from now, we'll be getting real close to the 2022 election. Yeah, I know not to be a conspiracy theorist or anything, but if we could just stretch it out so that we can have to make sure everybody gets a mail-in ballot for 2022's midterms, maybe like a repeat of what we saw in 2020. Just wait and see if it doesn't come to fruition. Way behind. Got to get our news update, top of the hour. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
USA Radio News with Tim Berg.
It's a big week for the Biden administration as Democrats try wrangling key pieces of President Biden's agenda through Congress. in face of steep Republican opposition. The latest blow to the White House came on Monday when Senate Republicans blocked a bill that would have funded the government and averted a default in U.S. debts. Senate Minority Leader Kentucky Republican Mitch McConnell on Tuesday criticizes his Democratic colleagues.
If Democrats want to use fast-track, party-line procedures to ram through trillions more in inflationary socialism, they'll have to use the same tools to handle the debt limit.
Richard Stafford, an attorney for Gabby Petito's family, is asking her missing fiancé to turn himself in. Stafford added Brian Laundrie's family didn't help them find Petito, and they won't help find him. USA Radio News.
Hi, I'm Wayne Alaroot for Patriot VPN. Patriot VPN is a virtual private network service that uses military-grade encryption to protect your internet connection on all of your devices. With Patriot VPN, your data and internet privacy is secure anywhere in the world. Why do you need Patriot VPN? Cyber criminals, government, even your own internet service provider collect and use your private information without your knowledge. Examples in the news recently, remember all the companies that have been hacked? Cuba censored the internet to kill protests? Here in America, conservative groups are being actively targeted. Your personal information and internet history is being sold by your ISP. It's all happening every day, but not with Patriot VPN. With Patriot VPN, your internet activity and history is protected from prying eyes forever. Patriot VPN is a veteran-owned business right here in the USA. For business or your family, starting at only $6.95 a month, use code WAR and get 3 months free. With an annual subscription, it's all at PatriotVPN.com. That's PatriotVPN.com.
Busy day on Capitol Hill as Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen also testifying before the Senate Banking Committee after Senate Republicans blocked a bill to keep the United States government funded. Yellen says it would be detrimental to many Americans, including senior citizens and troops, if the debt ceiling is not raised.
It would be disastrous for the American economy, for global financial markets, and for millions of families and workers whose financial security would be jeopardized by delayed payments.
Yellen adding that waiting until the last minute to raise the debt ceiling can undermine confidence in financial markets and credit worthiness of the United States. Jared Ramos, a man who killed 5 people at a Maryland newspaper, will spend the rest of his life in prison. Ramos given multiple life sentences without the possibility of parole Tuesday, more than 3 years after the deadly murders at the Capitol Gazette. USA Radio News.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, and I want to tell you that arthritis is not a genetic thing. It's not a disease of aging. Neither is osteoporosis. Get a hold of my book. It's all in your head. It goes into the 25 different diseases you get when you have osteoporosis of the skull. These are all reversible. You take the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, the MSM, vitamin D3, stay away from all the bad foods, including gluten, and guess what? You'll regrow all your bones, including your skull and your legs and your hips and everything else. Contact us at usaradiohealth.com. That's usaradiohealth.com.
A Border Patrol agent is speaking out after comments made by the Biden administration over the last week.
Border Patrol agents are mad and upset that leadership is throwing them under the bus, a top official with the agency's union told Fox News in Del Rio, Texas. National Border Patrol Council Vice President John Anfinson tells Fox News.
The agents feel like at all levels of management, from CBP to DHS to the White House, that they've been thrown under the bus because no investigation has been completed, yet you're hearing the president say these people will pay. The secretary echoed those sentiments, and then Friday, of course, CBP's commissioner basically said the same thing. So agents are upset.
Images of Border Patrol agents on horseback pursuing Haitian migrants went viral with erroneous accusations that the officials were whipping the immigrants. From the USA Radio News, West Texas Bureau, I'm Brad Bernards.
Ford is looking to expand its electric vehicle plants in the United States with a new manufacturing plant in Tennessee and battery manufacturing plants in Kentucky. CEO Jim Farley telling Fox News workers were a key factor in the company's decision to open plants in those states.
The availability of skilled labor in high quantity was one of the key reasons why we're building these sites where they are.
Farley goes on to say the plants will create 11,000 new jobs. For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Diesel particulate filter regeneration.
the DPF catches particulates left over from combustion. The DPF regeneration cycle cleans the filter with temperatures exceeding 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. A computer sensor triggers the DPF regen, which is often accompanied by a loss of power and fuel economy. The frequency of DPF regens are in correlation to the cleanliness of the fuel burn. Under heavy operation with the dirty burn, DPF regens can occur multiple times per day. Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme Fuel Additive promotes a more complete combustion, creating fewer emissions and therefore fewer DPF regens. Vehicles using Diesel Extreme experience 83% less DPF regens.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
We were talking last hour about the massive methamphetamine bust there at the U.S.-Mexico border. Get a load of this one out of California. Local authorities charged a man and woman in a massive drug bust. Found more than 46 pounds of a very lethal synthetic opioid. Jesus Morales and Christine Ponce, charged with 4 drug-related felonies with the intent to sell a controlled substance. No kidding. They raided the home of the Ponces, Paris, California. 46.2 pounds of carfentanil, not fentanyl, but carfentanil. 8.8 pounds of cocaine, 2.2 pounds of heroin. Carfentanil, that's the one that's 10,000 times more potent than morphine. It's 100 times stronger than fentanyl. As we know, typically used to tranquilize elephants and other large animals. If mixed with other drugs, the 21 kilos of carfentanil seized could have been enough to potentially kill more than 50 million people, according to the district attorney's office. They pleaded not guilty. Morales and Pence pleading not guilty, being held in prison without bail. It's an ongoing investigation. Next court date is November the 9th. But this is believed to be the largest seizure of carfentanil in Riverside County history. Big numbers. Wow. All right, let me get back, and Eagle wanted to finish up his conversation from earlier. Welcome back, Eagle.
Okay, yeah, I was saying earlier about this caravan that's making their way towards the United States. We're going to have another situation at the border in a couple weeks, or maybe a week or two. These people make it to Del Rio or wherever the hell they headed. Like I said, Joe Biden administration, we all know it's not going to happen, Steve, but in a realistic world, if Trump was president, you could bet your last dollar he put the caravans to a complete stop, Steve, when he was in the White House. This is just embarrassing. You know, here's the really scary part of this whole deal. I thought about this during the while I was waiting for you to put back on. Here's what's can you imagine, Steve? Can you imagine if Texas had a governor that was a Democrat? Can you imagine how many illegals will be getting into the USA? Because you know him and Joe Biden with a good relationship, whoever that person is. Let's just Gavin Newsom of California. Can you imagine if Gavin Newsom was the president? Was the governor of
Texas? Yeah.
The amount of illegals that would be in Texas right now. What'd you say?
If that were the case, yeah, they just, they wouldn't, none of them be being turned away. Well, come on in.
Yeah, it's almost scary to think about that. Just to think about it, if we didn't have a Republican governor in Texas that had the same kind of attitude as Donald Trump, Texas would be a lost cause right now, just like California is a lost cause. Governor Abbott is the only thing that we have right now, Steve, that's actually stopping these individuals from getting into Texas, and he can't even do anything to stop it. He's like I said, he's done everything. I respect the man. Everything he's done, he's tried to help the people of Texas and have some kind of border on the state of Texas, and the administration is not cooperating with it, and it's just an injustice. How you get away with it? And like you said, Steve, I never thought you said about an hour or two ago, and I just can't believe you said that. I'm gonna look it up after I hang up the phone with you. You said that Barack Obama can't believe how stupid Joe Biden is by opening these borders up like that. I never thought I would hear today that Barack Obama would actually go against Joe Biden. That shocked me when you made that comment. But like I say, I'm gonna look at myself because I can't believe that Barack Obama would say something like that. What'd you say?
It was on Good Morning America yesterday. That's why he said that it's not sustainable. The open borders is not sustainable.
Well, that's another scary thought right there, because you know Barack Obama doesn't want to go against Joe Biden. For Barack Obama to say something like that, that's just scary every American in this country that actually cares about the border. Because Obama, I promise you that he doesn't like Donald Trump. He doesn't like what's going on in the border. And for him to say that speaks volumes about what Biden is doing. But here's something else that I want to get on Rick, Steve, and that's the vaccine deal. I'm just going to say about the vaccine situation. It's a real scary situation, Steve, when you have people that are willing to quit their job and to lose their job. I'm talking about hospital workers. These people know something about this vaccine that we don't know, and I don't know why they're not out against it. But when you have doctors and when you have nurses that are willing to lose their job in a hospital, make these people get paid money. When you have people that are refusing to get vaccinated with this vaccine, that's not a good sign right there. When you hear about nurses and doctors refusing to take this vaccine, that's not good at all. These people are something that we don't know, and I think the information that they know is not good for the people taking this vaccination. That's all I'm saying about it. You think about it. You make your own decision. Now, here's something else I'm going to tell somebody, other people out there, Steve. There's some people out there right now talking about losing their job and their job. Well, here's a guy, this is a sports-related deal. Here's a guy who stands a chance of losing $40 million, a professional basketball player plays for a team called the Brooklyn, an NBA team in Brooklyn. Okay, apparently that you are not allowed into the arena if you are vaccinated by proof of vaccination. Well, they have a player on their team that is refusing to get this vaccine. He said that he will not be allowed to play the home. They play 80 games in the NBA. He will be allowed to play 41 games away from home, and the other 41 he will not be allowed to play in Brooklyn if he uses the vaccine. So this guy here has $40 million decision to make within the next couple of weeks, because basketball season is getting ready in a couple of weeks. He's either going to have to take this vaccination or he's not going to be able to play basketball in the NBA.
I have a sneaky suspicion he'll probably, when push comes to he'll probably take the vaccine. We'll see. If not, he's got enough millions in the bank already, right? I'm not real up to speed on my NBA players. Or NBA players. Hey, we got to get a quick 2-minute timeout. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studio.
You're listening to the Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers.
Pure Flow Air Dog, your leader in fuel air separation system technology. Our systems filter out water, particulates down to 2 micron, and remove all of the air out of your diesel fuel. This allows for nothing but pure, clean diesel fuel to reach the expensive injection system equipped in your vehicle. Not only do our fuel systems protect, they also come in a variety of flow rates to meet your performance needs. Our systems are compact and use OEM-style fittings for an easy installation. Learn more about our product at www.pureflowairdoc.com and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Protect your investment with PureFlow AirDog.
Drivers, you demand that your equipment's reliable and dependable, and that also applies to your headset for communication. Well, our friends at Stellar Electronic have you covered. The Pluto Duo headset bundle is the best communication headset you can find in the industry. No matter the challenging environment you're driving in, the Pluto headset will make you sound crystal clear all the time thanks to their 99% noise cancellation. And the Duo's not only a stereo converter for the headset, but also a power bank so you can charge as you go. Learn more at StellarElectronic.com or visit them on Facebook.
Some say their truck reflects who they are, dependable and reliable. That's why you trust Blue Def. Now the best just got better. Introducing Blue Def Platinum, a revolutionary innovation with advanced system shield technology to significantly reduce harmful deposits. To maintain fuel economy, save money on costly repairs, and sustain the life of your SCR system, there's only one DEF to choose. Blue Def Platinum. The best just got better.
Because Channel 19's a little congested. Call Steve now at 844-844-3388. The Overnight Drive.
So in New York, I guess, the process has begun. The Monday at midnight. That was kind of the deadline for those healthcare, hospital workers and nursing facility workers to have had their first shot or be laid off. What have they given them, like 5 days or something? Maybe 2 weeks unpaid. And if they get the vaccine in that time, they could come back to work. I was looking at a story out in New York as well, where I was under the impression that if you get fired, that you'd be eligible for unemployment. Apparently in New York, that in most cases, they're saying that will not be the case. You get fired for a failure to get the vaccine. Again, it says in most cases, those men and women will not even be eligible to draw unemployment. All right, pretty crazy. 25 past the hour. Let me get back to the calls here. What do you say, Knucklebuster? Hey there.
Morning, Mr. Steve Sommers. It's Knucklebuster one more time. Well, I read there were 2 Missouri men that are facing kidnapping and terrorizing charges after they allegedly kept a missing woman locked in a cage on one of their properties and lied to the police about it. These 2 look like real losers, Steve. I mean, they look like they ain't had a woman since a woman had them there, right? That's a bad thing there. Well, Amazon unveils a new hardware lineup, Steve. Alexa Meet Astro. It follows you around. I don't want nothing following me around. I want my grandkids. That'll be a good thing there. Mm-hmm. And over in the United Kingdom there, the Labour Party passes a motion that defines Israel as a apartheid. I don't even know what that means. I understood it meant to be bad because they put sanctions against Israel there. So I don't know. I say the hell with the UK, and I'll support Israel every day of the week there, right? They can kiss my backside there. Well, in God we trust. I got my faith in Him because forsaking all, I trust Him to be who He said He was and what He said He was going to do for me, Steve. My 92-year-old mother and I read the Bible every night over the phone there, and this is what we read tonight there in 2 Timothy chapter 3. For people will love only themselves and their money. They will be boastful and proud, scoffing at God, disobedient to their parents, and ungrateful. They will consider nothing sacred. They will be unloving, unforgiving. They will slander others and have no self-control. They will be cruel and hate what is good. They'll betray their friends, be reckless, be puffed up with pride, and love pleasure rather than God. Well, that's about as true as it's gonna get there right nowadays. There. Well, let's wind all this old baloney up. Yvonne Miller got it right with Fire Punk Diesel. If you have a Dodge pickup and hate your automatic transmission, yep, I'd hate myself for even owning a Dodge. Buy a Pluto headset from Stellar Electronic. It's 99% noise canceling. I guess all this advertising's been working off, Steve, since that driver bought a headset there. He sounded real great, man. Had it crystal clear there, right? Buy some Hot Shot Secret products. Find the right product for your old jalopy's needs. It'll even help those junky old Dodges there. Put overnight drive code in the box at checkout. Your 10 to 20% discount for being a first responder, active military personnel, or veteran, or a truck driver. You thank Mr. Chris Beltrick for free shipping in the good old USA and 100% money back guarantee if you get the poochie lip over one of their products. And he is still going to be on the show Friday morning, right, Steve?
Correct, Friday morning.
All right, y'all get your questions ready, because I know he'll have an answer. He's a smart man there. Y'all buy Steve Sommers overnight drive products, baseball caps, travel mugs, especially you women buy them T-shirts. I love baby dolls wearing T-shirts with Steve's name on them there. All right, call Steve on Overnight Drive Radio, and that's all of my old baloney for the day. Oh, don't forget to call that after hours show, too. There'll be 125 of you on the line, but only one of you
can talk at a time. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, that's all my baloney, hogwash, and garbage for today. Steve, have a great, blessed day.
All right, thank you, Knucklebuster. Let me see. Dateline, Orlando, Florida. Disney World workers will be joined by firefighters and nurses to march against the vaccine mandate. Yeah, announced, I guess this would have been like last Sunday is when they were supposed to march. Said about 30 cast members gathered to protest the company mandate. One of the organizers of the march says, I think it's reasonable for a lot of people to be worried about these mandates, and I'm hoping they'll take a pause and consider what they're about to do. This was a union leader at Local 737, but decided to part ways after they negotiated a deal to have workers fully vaccinated by October 22nd or risk losing their jobs. Yeah, another march was planned for, that was this past Sunday, starting at Manny's Restaurant. This time they were joined by first responders. At the first march, we heard from firefighters, unions, police officers, healthcare workers, especially nurses, who all expressed outrage that their employers are acting like they own the bodies of their employees. We are not their slaves. We have rights, and the most important right is the governance over our own bodies. There's about 65,000 workers at Disney in Orlando. A similar march planned for Disney workers in Anaheim, California. I don't think these marches are making any difference, are they? Not that I've heard. All right, get our news update as we hit the bottom of the hour here. Time just flying by, rolling into a Wednesday hump day. Mike coming on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
We're obviously at a very sensitive time.
White House spokeswoman Jen Psaki saying President Biden's previously scheduled Chicago trip on Wednesday has now been canceled or at least postponed. The president instead will stay back in Washington to lead talks over his legislative agenda, which has reached a critical point.
In these discussions, a pivotal time in these discussions.
Democrats have been negotiating the massive reconciliation bill. At the same time, they're hoping to pass a bipartisan infrastructure package before this week is over. A Democratic senator adamantly opposed to Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell getting another term. Democrat Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts blasting Powell on Tuesday, saying she has grave concern over his record. Powell's term as Fed chief expires early next year. And this is USA Radio News.
Bingo fun fact number 24. Online bingo is now America's favorite pastime activity. Go to bingoradiousa.com to play Bingo Treasure for free. Play from any device, your smartphone, tablet, or computer. The account is free. The play is free. Play one card, play more. Chat with other players. Meet new friends. It's all free at bingoradiousa.com. That's bingoradiousa.com. Bingo from any device. Hurry! Free accounts are limited.
Friends, Mike Lindell's My Pillow, My Slippers make my feet feel better than they have in about 20 years. My Pillow proprietary foam, memory foam, patented impact gel, indoor-outdoor soles. You won't want to take them off, or Mike Lindell will give you your money back. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, use my promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175 and save 40% using my promo code USA.
Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Hi, this is Pete Matouche. In 1999, my brother started the Turbo 3000. We're proud to continue on with his legacy.
The fuel that you've spent your hard-earned money on is completely burned, and that's your profit going right back where it belongs, in your pocket.
For our Canadian customers, you can get the Turbo 3000 from manufacturer direct. Call us at 888-567-1007. For a limited time, save $45 off total purchase using coupon code STEVESAVES at turbo3000.com.
For the last 15 years, the Big Rig Mattress has been manufacturing a premium residential mattress for over-the-road truckers. The main support component of the Big Rig Mattress is an individually pocketed spring core that delivers the optimal amount of support exactly where you need it. Check out thebigrigmattress.com to learn more about this exceptional mattress. Many sizes are stocked and can ship within 72 hours. Custom sizes also available. 100% made in the USA since 2009.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
Turbocharger spool time.
Turbochargers are designed to increase the efficiency and power of the diesel engine by forcing compressed air into the combustion chamber. Temperatures inside the turbo can reach upwards of 400 degrees. The oil meant to lubricate the bearings will burn, leaving behind a sticky residue called stiction. The turbo's ability to spool up quickly is hindered because the stiction-covered bearings can't spin properly. Hot Shot Secret Stiction Eliminator cleans the stiction from turbo bearings, reducing spool time, and builds maximum boost sooner in the RPM range. Stiction Eliminator is a synthetic cleaner plus nano-lubricant that contains no harmful solvents and is formulated to be left in the engine to safely dissolve stiction for thousands of miles. It works as you drive.
Hot Shot Secret Stiction Eliminator. Available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret. Powered by science.
Drivers, you demand that your equipment's reliable and dependable, and that also applies to your headset for communication. Well, our friends at Stellar Electronic have you covered. The Pluto Duo headset bundle is the best communication headset you can find in the industry. No matter the challenging environment you're driving in, the Pluto headset will make you sound crystal clear all the time thanks to their 99% noise cancellation. And the Duo's not only a stereo converter for the headset, but also a power bank so you can charge as you go. Learn more at StellarElectronic.com or visit them on Facebook.
For anything diesel, take it to Scheid Diesel. They provide a wide variety of services and diagnostics to determine what the problem is with the latest technology. From simple oil changes and preventative maintenance to fuel system diagnostics and repairs, engine rebuilds and cylinder head repairs, and rebuilds with our in-house machine shop. They also have on-site DPF cleaning for exhaust issues and DOT inspections. If your diesel is asking for some attention, Scheid Diesel has the specialist you need for anything diesel. Located in Terre Haute and Lafayette, Indiana, and Effingham, Illinois, Scheid Diesel has you covered.
Pure Flow Air Dog, your leader in fuel air separation system technology. Our systems filter out water, particulates down to 2 micron, and remove all of the air out of your diesel fuel. This allows for nothing but pure, clean diesel fuel to reach the expensive injection system equipped in your vehicle. Not only do our fuel systems protect, they also come in a variety of flow rates to meet your performance needs. Our systems are compact and use OEM-style fittings for an easy installation. Learn more about our product at www.pureflowairdog.com and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Protect your investment with PureFlow AirDog.
Because Channel 19's a little congested. Call Steve now at 844-844-3388. The Overnight Drive.
Yeah, coming up, of course, this weekend, we're rolling into October. And this Saturday, you got the big car show there at the Quaker Steak and Lube in Columbus. This is Kyle's personal car show charity fundraiser. Hot Shot Secret, a major sponsor there. What is the 8th annual Mario Knapp Memorial Car Show? Presented by Fiesel and Hot Shot Secret. Then the following, after it's been a busy summer. Yeah, Kyle's been out there week after week, traveling to varying events around the country. And I guess the big finale, the Outlaw Diesel Super Series is going to be wrapping up their season at Rudy's Fall Truck Jam in Julian, North Carolina, the following weekend. That's October the 8th and 9th, a Friday and Saturday event. Yes, Kyle will be there with the Hot Shot Secret vendor booth. Final stop of the Outlaw Diesel Super Series, the grand finale of the season. The long series points race culminates at Piedmont Dragway in North Carolina for the Rudy's Fall Truck Jam. After traveling all over the country all season, the series returns to where it all started in the fall, and all the class champions will ultimately be decided. Fastest diesel drag racers in the nation will be there, including many of the Hot Shot Secret sponsored racers who are looking to make a clean sweep of every class championship if they can pull it off. Always a great event and end of the Outlaw Diesel Super Series. Don't want to miss this one. Check out Rudy's Fall Truck Jam at Piedmont Dragway. And, of course, make sure to swing by the Hot Shot Secret booth. Say hello to Kyle, again, who will be there for the final race of the Outlaw Series of the season. Once the racing season kind of winds down, then Kyle can begin focusing on some of the other many tasks that he has there at Hot Shot Secret. All right, get back to the calls here. And what's going on with the grump this morning?
What's up, Steve?
Hey there.
Somebody was talking earlier about, Trump stopped the immigration, or, the illegals coming across the border, just pretty much dead in its tracks. And that was true in many cases. I mean, he did a lot of things. His Justice Department submitted a lot of different old Supreme Court cases and things like that they used to kind of ward off the illegals that were crossing the border. He influenced the Mexican government to get 25,000 troops on the border. Well, they're gone. Biden said, we don't need them. Go ahead and, do whatever you want with your people. So they're gone. But one of the tools that Trump used was a rule that had been in effect since 1885. And it was the public charge rule. And the old rule, it used to say that if someone became if an immigrant became a public charge within 5 years of their entering in the United States, well, they were automatically deported. That they had to have means, and the federal government could not be their means of support.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Trump's Justice Department went in and they did some changes on this back in 2019. And what they did was that they included everybody in that. Now, before it was primarily visa workers or people that was here legally, because everyone just assumed that illegal aliens, didn't get anything when they come in here. They just had to find them, a job or whatever, and and make money like that. Well, that wasn't true. Hell, they use the school systems, they use the health departments, they use every damn thing. So Trump's legal department went in there and they did a lot of changes on this. Well, it was never entered into the register because the Democrats fought it tooth and nail. And it included things like anybody that came here, any non-citizen that was in the United States could not become a public charge. And they were deporting people right and left. Well, it just come down to the fact that people that were coming across the border, they said, look, if you got money in your pocket, no, get your ass back in Mexico. Don't come back up here. So the Democrats sued them, and it was going to go back in front of the Supreme Court again after Justice Blackmun back in 1976. He wrote a unanimous decision on that public charge. Said it was a reason for inadmissibility, which means that it was a reason that you could throw somebody out or you could keep them from coming into the United States. If they were broke, they didn't need to be here. Why would somebody want to just, the American taxpayers just allow somebody to walk across the border or come here on a visa with no money in their pockets, no means of support, and just automatically assume that the government was going to pick up the tab for everything. Mm-hmm. So Blackmun and all 9 justices in 76 said, that's a lot. That is a legal method of determining who comes across the border, who comes here. And guess who here this year, back in March this year, the 7th Circuit Court, number one, they vacated. They issued a stay on it for a while. And then they finally ended up vacating it. And they vacated the entire part of the public charge. They said it was no longer necessary. Now, how the hell, this was written into regulation, this was written into the immigration laws. But the 7th Circuit took it out. And what confuses the hell out of me is that it was going to go in front of the Supreme Court again. And Joe Biden, his legal department, and the Justice Department submitted a writ to the Supreme Court to have that dismissed. Just dismiss it altogether. Just keep it from going in front of the Supreme Court. Well, hell, they did it. Unanimously, they did it. I think it was more Kagan than anybody that had written that since I think it's 7th Circuit Court. But, this has been a tool that's been used for forever, since 1886, to determine who comes into the country, whether you're broke, hell, have a means of support. You don't come in here, just empty pockets saying, let taxpayers, government, here I am, feed me, clothe me, put me in a home. Well, hell, that's what we got going on now. That's one of the reasons why that you see this flood of people coming across, was that's part of the Biden administration's announcement to hear all these illegals is, hey, there's no longer a public charge, test here. So just bring your ass on up here. We got to feed you. We got to clothe you. We got to pay your electric bills. We got to do all of this stuff. And, this is a kick, as far as I'm concerned, to the old folks in this country, to the extreme poor that, whether we want to admit it or not, Steve, that we're gonna have poor people that cannot pay their bills. I mean, for whatever damn reasons, that's the way it is. Whether it's an education level, whether it's just the way it is, whether they've had diseases or whatever. That we don't need this bunch of damn freeloaders showing up at our borders and saying, I'm here now. You tell me which one of them can support themselves. It just amazes the hell out of me, especially the Haitians. They're coming up here. They say they're coming up here for jobs or, coming here for jobs or whatever. But when you remove something like a public charge provision out of the immigration rules, and when it's just wiped out completely, that's an incentive right there to say, well, now I'm entitled to what you're entitled to, because as soon as I step foot into the United States, whether people likes it or not, they now fall under the same rules as you and I under the Constitution, the same laws, whether they're legal or not. The Constitution doesn't say citizens. Mm-hmm. It says persons. And this is what a pisser is. And I thought Trump's legal department was pretty damn smart on how they worded that, how they structured it to include anyone, that comes across that's non-citizen. And now here we got, it's like our own damn legal system's working against the American people in order to bring in more voters for the damn Democrats. Now this is, I don't know, man. I'll tell you, it's frustrating. I read Supreme Court cases. I have for many, many years. They fascinate me. Number one, on some of the arguments that are presented to them, the opinions that justice is right. One of my favorites is Clarence Thomas. He's as far as I'm concerned, he's a genius when he writes, some of his opinions. Scalia was the same way. I mean, they could just put it out there to where it was in black and white and people had to understand it. But I don't know, man. I tell you, it's, what do we do? What do we do? When you got your own legal system that's fighting against the people, we the people, it just seems like it's a kick in the ass every time you turn around, and it's our ass that's getting kicked. I mean, it's always somebody else, that's coming here that is favored for some reason. They're allowed to have abortions. They're allowed to stay here. They're allowed to, drop babies. They're allowed all this. I've seen so damn many. Well, I was sitting on the border one time in Otay Mesa, sitting there having breakfast one morning with a Mexican guy and me and a couple other guys, and he was going to take our trailers across. There was a couple of them going to take our trailers down to Cabo. It was tankers and they had pesticides and stuff like that on there. And we're sitting there, and all these damn kids are backpacks coming through the gates, coming through the border. I said, what the hell's all this about? He said, drop babies, man. And I had absolutely no idea what the hell a drop baby was. Women coming across the border, having their kids, boom. And as soon as, they're U.S. citizens, they come to our schools.
Yep.
It's a damn shame. But, what do you do? It's as long as people are going to be voting for these damn Democrats, this is what we got. It's greater than taxation. This is something that just slaps every American in the face. It's saying we're going to take your money, but yet we're going to give it to other people. We're going to give it to these illegals that are crossing the border because they need it more than you do.
It's the whole redistribution. One of the biggest things Trump had in place, Grump, was it not the Remain in Mexico policy? And Biden, he overturned that, but the court, I believe, upheld it. But they still have not yet re-implemented that I'm aware of the Remain in Mexico policy.
No, they have not. They've ignored the law. The court said that it was a viable law that it needs to be re-implemented, or executive order. And it needed to be re-implemented because there was just too damn many people flooding across the border. Well, the Biden administration saying, no, there's not that many. They're trying to convince the American people that what they're seeing is really not what they're seeing.
Yeah, right.
And it's crazy. I mean, here this guy is you could sit here and show him the 30,000 people under that bridge, and he would turn around and go, no, that's not right. And he would convince a few of these dumbasses out here, especially like CNN and MSNBC and people like that, to get out here and campaign for him, saying, no, it's really not as bad as it looks. Maybe they're catching on. I don't know. It just.
Well, we had 12,000 Haitians released into the interior of this country last week. I have no idea, where they bust them all out to, but I'm guessing all over the country. But in one fell swoop, 12,000 cleared out without even being tested for COVID, and they admitted that.
Yeah, 12 to 15,000. That's the numbers right now, but they're really not sure.
Right.
That was what.
And even Mayorkas admitted 20% of them, they believe, were COVID positive. Now, if they weren't testing them, we kind of questioned last year, how do you know 20% are positive? How do you know it's not 70%? Yeah, if you're not testing them, maybe there were just a handful, and based on the few that did get tested, 1 in 5 were coming back positive. I have no idea of it. All right, about 8 before the hour. Back into the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Are you having trouble sleeping? Are you tired all the time? Growing older is a fact of life. Our skin starts to wrinkle, muscles get weaker, and our energy levels plummet. If there was a product that may help you slow down these symptoms of aging, would you be interested? I want you to go to getonthegel.com. That is getonthegel.com. Watch this 4-minute video that explains more about this amazing product. Or call us at Youth Fountain HGH today at 513-472-0699 for more information.
Diesel Army is on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Burning the midnight oil with the best diesel coverage. All the tech, all the torque. Diesel Army, where there's smoke, there's fire. For the latest news and event coverage, as well as feature and tech articles, sign up for the newsletter and don't miss a thing. Visit dieselarmy.com from the Power Auto Media family of digital magazines. Again, it's dieselarmy.com.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud, always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
Do you have a Dodge pickup and hate your automatic transmission? Of course you do. LaVon Miller at Firepunk Diesel here, and we specialize in heavy-duty and performance transmissions for your 3-quarter or 1-ton Cummins-powered truck. So if you're interested in turning your stock slush box into a towing monster, call us today at 614-733-3744 or visit us online at shop.firepunk.com.
And now, back to the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
All right, down the home stretch, here we roll. Just enough time to squeeze Gilligan in. What's going on, Gilligan? Morning.
Oh, just driving up 81, my normal gig. Now, Steve, I'm going to try and touch on 2 things. Yeah, they're talking about that we don't get this budget reconciliation done, that Social Security checks are not going to go out. You know, this check, that check. You ever notice the first thing that Democrats do is threaten the elder? And so you're not going to get your Social Security check unless the Republicans agree with our demands. You know, why people cannot see this is beyond me. It infuriates me every time I hear this stuff. And I'm sure most of your listeners agree with me. I mean, when has it been that we haven't had a problem with this stuff? Expanding the national debt and the budget reconciliation, all this crap, and they didn't threaten the seniors. That's the first people they attacked. Am I right or wrong?
Well, if you're going to watch CNN or MSNBC, the left-leaning, the mainstream media, they're portraying the Republicans are the bad guys because they're refusing to work with the Democrats. You have to raise the budget ceiling, the debt ceiling, and if they don't, you're not going to get your check, and it's their fault. And most people buy it hook, line, and sinker.
I know I've got family members. I've got a close friend that buy into this. And you try to talk to them, oh, no, that ain't true. That ain't true. It's like, and, you know, my opinion of MSNBC and CNN, they should be sued out of business. I know people say, well, you've got freedom of the press, freedom of the press. Yes, but you also got laws against slander. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're slandering people that are against them. There's, you know, it's just politics. No, it's not just politics. It's an attack on the American people. I own that. That's my opinion. You know, I fully believe that. I'm going to touch on something else. He was talking about the people that are being fired up in New York because they will not take the shot, the healthcare workers. And they will not get unemployment. Am I correct? Did I hear you right?
That was, most of them will not. There's just a few limited exceptions. They will not be eligible.
Isn't that so ironic? Because these people refuse to be injected with an experimental vaccine that has proven not to really work. You've had stories of people reports of people that the antibodies, they disappeared over time after they had the shot. Because they won't do that, they're going to take their unemployment away. But look at how they've still stretched out the unemployment benefit because people just don't want to work. As far as I know, I don't think the look for work mandate has been lifted. It's not been, it's been lifted for some time. It's been about a year and a half that you haven't. If you're on unemployment, you don't have to look for work. But meanwhile, they want to give them people that just don't want to work. Like an earlier caller said, there's help wanted signs. Every caller, I think it's about help wanted signs everywhere. But they want to not pay these people because it's a political thing. It's downright sickening. I'll let you go. I know you're close to the end of the show.
We're up against the clock here, so you got to get out the door for Wednesday. Hey, have a great day. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. Be safe out there. You know the drill. We'll come back and do it again at the midnight hour tonight, rolling into a Thursday. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
Never guess the places that I've been. You never guess the places that I've been. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. I'm never gonna let the day begin. Never gonna let the day begin. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, and I'll just make this bed my home. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Better from above. Nothing's ever as it seems, yeah, except in that world that I dream of. Never gonna lose the ones I love. Never gonna lose the ones I love. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that world that I dream of.